Yeah, man. I mean, man, you're crazy going to Minnesota.
Yeah.
What happens, Frank? Nobody likes
Yeah. We can do that. Go down. Yeah. That's a question for the general.
That's right.
Okay, looks like 6 o'clock straight up. Welcome, everybody. I'd like to call to order this December 1 meeting of the Planning Commission. And let's do the roll call, then we'll do the pledge. Lee Branglish here. Alan Angel here. Fisher here. All right. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Well, it's nice to see a good crowd. It'd be nice if every planning commission meeting was so well attended, but glad you're all here. A couple things we want to do housekeeping wise before we get started. I do want to make a note on the agenda. We're going to go ahead and cross out item 13. I had asked administrator to remove that one. We don't really have any business discussing a plat, a preliminary plat for something that hasn't been through the zone change process yet. So we're going to take that off our agenda this time.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, my recommendation is, because I believe it was posted that way, why don't you take it up at that time and address it, and then you can decide if you want to.
It's not in my purview to just not address an agenda item that's not appropriate for our meeting.
Was it posted this way, is my question. Was it posted with item 13?
It was, yeah.
It'd be appropriate to take it up, even if it's the, yeah, even if you table it. I think it'd be appropriate at least to address it.
Okay.
So, because it was posted that way on the public notice list.
So I've got a, since there's a big group here and I want to make sure we get through this this rather long agenda as best we can. I have a few things I'd like to say just as an opening statement, and I thought I'd just read it so that, because I tend to go on, and if I don't have my words in front of me, we'll all be here all night. So one of the things that occurred to me, I know we always start our meetings with the Pledge of Allegiance, and sometimes it's lost on us that we do that. We pledge allegiance to our republic. It's interesting that this is an example of sort of a microcosm of our republic here, and our allegiance is to this Republic of Apple Valley. The Planning Commission in particular represents this town. So to that end, tonight we're going to be discussing quite a few applications from people who wish to bring change to Apple Valley. Fortunately, the application for a zone change tells the applicant what criteria we will use to determine if the request is in the best interest of our republic. Those criteria directly from the zone change application read as follows. Required considerations to approve a zone change. When approving a zone change, the following factors should be considered by the Planning Commission and Town Council. Number one, whether, and by the way, these are the criteria we're going to determine, we're going to use to determine what our recommendation is to Town Council, just to be clear. Number one, whether the proposed amendment is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the town's general plan. And I want to pause here and just give you one example of what our general plan does say, particularly about residential development. The residential area this is directly from our general plan, which by the way, I would recommend if you haven't looked at it lately, go to the town website, you can see a copy there and review it. And I should note that we have begun a process of updating our general plan. I'm excited about that because we're going to get input, hopefully lots of input from as many of you who wish to do that as we go through that process. This is what the current general plan says about residential development. The residential area is established to provide areas in the town where residential uses may be harmoniously integrated with incidental agricultural pursuits. The area is intended to allow the keeping of farm animals and fowl in conjunction with single-family dwelling units to an extent consistent with said development. It is also intended to retain land in parcels large enough to provide efficient and attractive residential development, which preserves the historic and open agricultural and farm type impression of the area. The town and its views of Zion National Park, Smithsonian Butte, and Canaan Gap have a national and international reputation for their natural beauty. The town relies on that scenic beauty to attract residents, travelers, and tourists. Because of the unique topography, the area that comprises the town is an integral part of that scenic beauty and therefore must be protected. And the goal associated with that particular clause is to provide for open space and low density, low profile, single family dwellings, which protect the indigenous characteristic and views of the area, and to make provisions for erosion and other potential geological hazards. So that's just an example of what the general plan says with regard to the first requirement for consideration in a zone change, which again is to be consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the general plan. Number two, these four criteria are listed on every application. Number two, whether the proposed amendment is harmonious with the overall character of existing development in the vicinity of the subject property. Number three, the extent to which the proposed amendment may adversely affect adjacent property. And number four, the adequacy of facilities and services intended to serve the subject property, including but not limited to roadways, parks and recreation facilities, police and fire protection, schools, stormwater drainage, water supplies, and wastewater and refuse collection. That last one, by the way, I feel like is particularly useful and notable if you're an applicant looking for a zone change so that you can build on. It's our responsibility to make sure that the town can provide the resources that allow you to do that. We have no business approving anything that we either don't know, we can't sustain, or we do know we can't sustain. And that protects not just the town, but everyone who might live there in the future. Before we start the first of several hearings, and the public hearings, by the way, when we get to them, we're gonna try to get through them quickly. Janet here has agreed to be our timekeeper. We're going to hold you to a 2-minute time limit. It's on the zone change application. There's nothing we can do. That's what it says. We're not here to argue about that. I'm just reading word verbatim what's on the zone change application. I'm not giving you my opinion, I'm giving you that. I'm sorry, Richard, I don't want to argue with you right now. Before we start the hearings, I want to ask town staff to provide receipts showing the amount and date of application fees for the applicants in front of us this evening. I requested this information on November 24th, 1 week ago. Does the town have that information available today?
Not to submit the public package.
If
Because
we provide you with a 10-minute recess, could you get that for us?
because these fees are generally restricted or considered to be public records or private records of cities and required.
No.
No,
You don't have, we can't process a zone change application if we can't verify that that fee has been paid.
The town clerk can verify the fee.
I asked the town clerk and I got nothing.
Most of them are,
Actually, I didn't get nothing. I got a response that said, I'll ask Dale.
that wasn't from you, but to confirm, most of the receipts are noted on the application. If they were in,
I don't care about most.
well,
wanna
they've all been paid for. I can come up with that.
I think it'd be, might be easier if you've got one that shows that it doesn't, then we should produce that.
Thank you. Yes, that, I concur.
No, I'm sorry, this is my meeting, Dale. I want to know if these fees have been paid.
They have all been paid. And I can,
You can verify that?
yes,
I'm going to give you till the end of the public hearing to pull that information.
I have things to recite and if you want me to.
Somebody
go.
else, is there anyone else from the town that can grab that information?
Not at this time. What is,
I don't understand why when I asked for this a week ago, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
What's the answer?
I don't have one. I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah,
No, not.
so when the town administrator says, I need to wait until Dale tells me what to do, he didn't ask you about that?
I don't know who he is, referring to Jeff Brand.
Yeah,
I have to ask Jeff Brand about that. Alan, I'm unaware that you asked for a copy of the receipts. This is-
so far I'm into page 46 of the, and they've all been noted that have been paid and receipt numbers.
I understand.
What about the amount?
Yeah, I want to know whether the amount is accurate, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just saying something's been paid doesn't tell me that, there's a calculation, there's a formula used for each application. And it's the very first thing on an application that we need to verify. There's a whole laundry list, checklist. That's the very first thing at the top of the application, have the fees been paid.
Yeah, she's verified that they,
We're gonna
if you have to
make sure.
dispute a particular document, we have to look into it first thing.
That's not how it works. We can't
That's the way it's gonna work.
process an application without.
Oh.
It's gonna work.
Wow.
We don't have to.
This is his meeting, not yours.
Yeah, all right.
This isn't your meeting, Frank.
I didn't say.
This is a meeting of the town.
Okay, we're not gonna get, are you representing the staff right now, Dale?
Council of the staff, okay? And this, and I told you, this is honestly the first I've heard that you wanted receipts. She has verified that they have been paid. If you want a particular breakdown, we'll be happy to get that for you.
Okay. Gotcha.
Hey, Chairman, can I say something?
Please.
So my recommendation here, when each item comes up on the agenda, have the town clerk just confirm that the receipts have been paid and that she can verify that.
The amount.
So, and to be clear, whether the fee has been paid is a prerequisite to your consideration of an application. So it's a fair question that we can ask of the staff to confirm before you proceed with deliberations. Okay?
So with so many applications in front of us, we've enlisted some help from folks in various professions around us, including the people from the Hurricane City planning staff. Frank Linhart, who is a town resident here, is here tonight in that capacity to present the reviews and recommendations for each application. We will review each application itself to determine if it is complete by verifying if it contains the requested and required information, including the amount of fees necessary to evaluate the application. Applications that are incomplete will be tabled so that the applicant may provide us with the necessary information if they so desire to do so. Applications and preliminary plats that are complete will be reviewed based on the criteria that I read earlier. These reviews are typically done by professionals from the town before they are placed on our agenda. which is again why we enlisted the help of Frank and other planning staff from Hurricane. I say that because when I asked the JUC for their recommendations, I got a one-page document that basically said approve, approve, approve. To me, that's not a,
Actually, that's not what it said.
I brought it with me if you want me to move it around and show it to everybody.
What it said, what the report states.
I don't, it's not a conversation. We're having a meeting.
When you make a comment about the JC is here to respond to it.
I'm sorry, can I step up and say something? This is the town of Apple Valley. If you can't respect what's going on here, can you please step out?
No, I didn't.
No, you sit down.
Don't-
Sit down.
You are-
Come on. You're doing the same thing he's doing. We're having a meeting. It doesn't matter why. I've asked Frank to come here and he's gonna review this. We're gonna review them based on the criteria I read earlier. These reviews are typically done by professionals, as I said. So we're gonna start the first hearing here in a second, and we're gonna go ahead and rearrange the agenda just a little bit. One of the applications in particular is a relatively simple one. So we're gonna start with that one, and then we're gonna close that hearing, and we're gonna go ahead and deliberate on that one if that's okay with everybody up here. Sound okay? That's right. The first agenda, though, is to review minutes from our October meeting. I took a look at them, and they don't look anywhere near sufficient in terms of what was discussed. I did review the video, but you guys were here, so tell me whether or not you feel like that's adequate. I don't see any motions, for example, on there. I just see the action was approved, like, some wording.
It's just a draft, it's just a draft.
So there's nothing here to approve. Does anybody want to comment any further on?
I'd like to see it the way it always was, where the comments were actually on the notes. This doesn't tell me what I'm saying.
We'll get updated.
When we see, just for clarity, when we see minutes, it's really important that the motions that are made are
Confirm.
very explicit and specific. And particularly for this body who recommends to the next body, they need to know what we just.
Of course. Confirm. So we'll table that and we'll go back to that. At the next.
And before we move on to the hearing, are there any conflicts of interest or anything on this rather lengthy agenda? Nope. All right, so as I said, we're gonna do a whole variety of public hearings here. We're gonna start them, we're gonna time them, and we're gonna stop. Among the various things that I hope we can expect of our people here is that we'll be civil. It's explicitly forbidden in a town meeting like this, in the state of Utah, to disparage another person in the room or a member of the town. So if you have a comment, please do. If you have an accusation, please don't. Okay? All right, Janet, you ready for the timer?
Yes.
No, right here. Just start on that one, right here. When we're ready to get going here. We're gonna go ahead and open the hearing on the zone change application for AV 1365E from open space to RE10. The applicant is Dennis Clark. Before the public comments, is Dennis here? Dennis, you're on the phone? He's not here? Is anybody here to represent what this project's about?
I can help out if you need.
Can you give us a quick, just in case there are,
Rundown.
we don't want to have questions that we can answer by just giving a quick overview.
Maybe she.
He just wants to build, let's see, one single house
Gotcha,
on RE10.
okay.
And he has 10 acres and it's one person.
So we're gonna do this in this order. If we've got anybody that's written in, we do that sometimes. We get emails saying, hey, can you please read this? I can't be there. Do we have anybody for this particular?
No, no public
Okay.
comments.
And then let's start with the folks online. Anybody online want to make a comment about this one? Okay, anybody in the room? All right, close that public hearing. Let's move on to,
Motion that we, put on to item 10, discuss the possible action.
I don't think you guys can move forward, can we?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sure. Let's just talk about it. I can see the reason that. Okay. That sounds good.
Already fine, so you want,
But it exceeds.
Frank, this is one that, I think you took a look at, right?
Yeah.
You want to give us a?
Well, you gonna do all the public hearings first?
No, I want to do this.
No, we're gonna do this one
particular one.
first, get done.
Well, you know what? Actually, no. If he's not
If he's
here,
not here, doesn't-
we were gonna do that so he could go, but we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next public hearing. Now. We'll come back.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure he could go. Okay. Item number 3, I'm opening the public hearing for a zone change application for AV 1329B from open space to single family 1. The applicant is Lad McDonald. Lad. Okay. You want to give us a quick overview of what you're looking for?
Sure. So I guess I stand facing you guys. We would like to request a zone change to single family 1 acre lots. When we bought this property 16, 17 years ago, it was zoned R1. Somewhere along the process that changed. We always thought it was R1. When we started this process, we realized that it was zoned open space transitional. We think that R1 fits the town and matches the lots that are nearby. And we think that it'd be a good addition to the town.
How big of a parcel is it?
It's 62 acres.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
Are there any anybody that's not here that wants to comment on this? No. Anybody online? This is item number 3.
Oh, wait, hold on. Someone-
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, this is Walter Josie. I'm 1224 North Rome Way. And my question is how many acres are 1 acre zoned request and how many acres are the half acre?
They changed it to all 1 acre.
Yeah, it's all one acre now. Correct. There's no half acre.
So it's all 1 acre then?
It's been updated to all 1 acre, yes, sir.
So
It
just,
was always 1 acre on this one.
so just to make sure that I understand, then the half acre request is no longer there?
Never was there.
It
Never
never
was.
was there.
There must be a misunderstanding. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
You gotta time this here.
Okay, so I'm curious about that because I have a document mailed to me that says that the above listed parcels go from open space to RE1 and S1/2 single family.
Can you read what parcel number is on the top just to confirm, sir?
Yep, it's AV 1329 and AV 1343-A-1.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
different
that's
one.
a
Different one. Sorry. All right, let's move on to the next one. Anybody else? Anybody else online have any comments?
Yeah.
Right, Harvey does. Okay, let me mute her, just give me 1 moment. Can you,
Can you unmute?
yeah, you can unmute yourself, Patty? On the bottom left
Gotcha.
corner.
So where is exactly is this parcel, these parcels located?
Out by the Boy Scout camp.
I mean, I can speak up if you want.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, it's located off of Rome Avenue.
If you've seen the new construction, it's simply straight to the north of that. So
Just to the north of the new construction on Rome Avenue.
So going up the hill to Rome and then across the lot to Maine?
Down, it's past the water tanks.
It doesn't go all the way to Main Street, but we have an easement to Main Street.
I guess my other question is, the infrastructure to get power, water, streets to this parcel, how are we going to provide all that when we're out of power like twice, 3 times a
So
month?
just so we're clear, we're gonna try to address all questions at the end. So this
Okay.
is the public comment. It's not the
I
public
gotcha.
question.
It's
So we
62
still bring
houses is
back-
pretty much, right?
address it.
There are gonna be
Yeah.
62 lots, 62 single homes,
Actually, with roads, it comes out to 56 lots.
56 lots? Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Anybody else online? Okay, anybody in the room?
They're
Raise your
not
hand
gonna
if you want.
discuss.
So did you shut the
I don't know.
mic off?
No.
Yeah,
Of course, Jeannie, the map for the proposed project is showing, it's highlighting the wrong parcel.
Okay.
I think that probably would have affected the mailing list and a lot of other stuff. So,
gotcha.
yeah, we realized that, we saw that. It didn't affect the mailing list. They just highlighted accidentally highlighted the wrong lot.
Okay.
You can check the mailing list. It's still covered 500. Your mailing list totally ignored the new subdivision. Well, no, I mean.
No, sorry, no conversations. Public comment.
I was just.
We don't want to be here till midnight.
All right, thanks, Boris. Anybody else? 2 minutes.
Margaret Osowski, 1024 West Little Pinion. So if that property is above the Wells property, so are they gonna participate in, making the retention basins or what on that?
Good question. Anybody else? Okay, we're gonna close the public comment on that one. Thank you all. We're gonna get through this one way or another. We're gonna move on to item number 4, which is a public hearing is now open for a zone change application for AV 1366-D-1 from open space to single family quarter acre. The applicant is Northern Engineering. Anybody hear from them? Yeah. You want to give us a quick rundown on what you're looking at here?
This property is right directly west of the Cedar Point subdivision. It's at the northwest corner of that north side of the road where the turn lanes on the highway have all put in. And so it's at 9.26 acres.
9.22 acres.
Yeah, right there. And so we originally submitted with this zone change, the plan was to put in patio homes, but they've withdrawn that and just want to go ahead with just single family lots. We have proposed quarter acre lots, but in this little 9.22 acres, we have to put in our own sewer system because it's too small for septic tanks. And in putting the cost for the septic tank for the sewer treatment system, we need to try and be at the quarter acre lot space for single family dwelling. And it's again, right off the highway, and our layout we put in here, there is no houses facing the highway. We've got our area for our drain field area and for our.
And is there a road
open
there
space.
now? Is there an access road?
Yeah, we're tying onto the main road that takes off there. And so we've got 2 accesses onto that road,
Not up.
not off the highway. No accesses off the highway. So
All right.
it's Smithsonian Drive, and we have 2 accesses off of that. So,
Thanks, appreciate that.
and tying into the existing utilities that are right there.
Perfect. All right. Any comments that need to be read?
Yes.
Yes.
Should I step up there? Should I read them right here?
As long as we can hear you.
Okay. So this is from Levy and Janine Shepherd. They have a couple comments. Number one, with all constrained water resources, how does Apple Valley plan to support nearly 40 additional single-family residential homes? Number two, how does Apple Valley plan to address sewage with nearly 40.25 acre lots? How is this development going to manage 40 homes, waste septic systems? Can 10 acres handle 40 septic systems without polluting water sources? Number three, what does this mean for Pacific Power customers who are already relying on a strained power grid that has constant power outages? That can the power grid handle an additional 40 single-family residential homes? Number four, what plans does Apple Valley have for water runoff from surrounding fields? Is there going to be retention ponds for the property? There is also flooding from the surrounding land when it rains. Five, how does Apple Valley plan to keep the community safe and keeping crime at a minimum? There is no sheriff, police department in close proximity for additional 40 homes. A, that was A. B, there is no fire department in close proximity for additional 40 homes. C, no school zones for children. D, traffic. There's already an abundance of speeders that go 70, 80, 90 plus miles on Highway 59. 6, Apple Valley infrastructure is already struggling to keep up with current growth with already improved communities. How will the city structure itself to handle such rapid growth? A, strain staffing for basic city functions such as, but not limited to, water and sewer, admin and finance, fire departments, roads, code enforcement, building department, etc. Last concern is property values for surrounding homes. Most, if not all, sought this applies for the large country style lifestyle. With small lot and patio homes, what will this do for our home values? Appraisers already have a hard time pumping homes in the valley.
Nice, came in just under 2 minutes.
Oh.
Anybody online have any comments?
Sure.
This is for item number 4. All right, anybody in the room? Yes.
Brenda Nelson, 1396 Cedar Drive over by Cedar Point.
Okay.
This subdivision is high density, not low density, thus it goes against our plan. And it's certainly not coherent with the existing housing either. So that's going
Thank you.
against our plan.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Of course.
Did we see a staff report on this?
Have not, but we're gonna get one. We're gonna get an unofficial one here in a little bit. Anybody else? All right, let's close that here. Sailing, aren't we? Item number 5 is we're gonna open this public hearing. This is for a zone change application for AV 2184 and AV 2165 from open space to cabin and tiny parks zone and planned development zone and RE1. Applicant is Standard Development. There you are. Go ahead, fill us in on what you got going on.
Can I save you guys a little time and add 2 more parcel numbers on here that are part of the same deal?
If they're not on the application.
They're on the application. The one I got number 5 and then I got number 8 and 9, but it's really, they should all just be talked about.
Oh, you can cover, you can discuss, you can describe them all and we'll do the hearing for that separately. That's fine.
Okay. What we have is, what I'm here for is a zone change for on 889 acre parcel on the west side of the valley here, directly west, and then all the land surrounded by Gooseberry Mesa. I would like to do the lion's share. That's going to be 1 acre lots. There's going to be a couple areas that are half acre lots was my plan, and then I have the land, the access, and the water for it. And
all right, thanks.
Thank you.
Anybody that needs to be read? Do we have any more comments that need to be read?
No, not any from me, but I'm gonna make sure.
Any comments online? No comments online. Anybody in the room? This is item number 5. Big parcel.
Martin Rosowski, 102 Westfield Canyon. How many cabins or, does he have how many cabins or tiny home things he's planning on putting on these acres, and where exactly along the road are they gonna be on 59, or are they gonna be back in, because that's a big area, big, like horseshoe thing. So where exactly where is that gonna be considered commercial or what?
Yeah. But we're looking at it.
Zone change.
Zone change. So that's a flat. So
That's
that's-
flat.
Did you happen to have, did you happen to have on your best guess, preliminary plat, did you have any tiny homes or?
A lot of that, some of that's just general purpose and I figured we would deal with that when we come in for the preliminary plat and final.
Okay.
I'm here just with the zone change.
Gotcha. Any other comments? Okay, that's a public hearing. All right, we're moving on to number 6, and I'm gonna open the public hearing for a zone change application for AV 1343A1 from open space to RE1. The applicants are Travis and Libby Wells.
Evening, Planning Commission. I'm Craig with Alliance Consulting, Craig Coates. I represent Travis and Libby Wells. They're online, but they couldn't be here this evening. So the plan is on this application is do 1 acre lots.
Tell everybody where this is.
So this particular parcel, the parcel is 40 acres that is kind of north off the highway, just southeast of the existing town. The parcel actually splits between the wash. So half is on one side of the wash, half on the south side of the wash. This particular 40 acres.
Where at?
So it's south of,
East of the gas station.
it's east of the gas station. So you guys, it's this 40 acres, the first zone, and then the wash runs kind of down the middle.
Access from it is from what road?
It would be from the north side,
So
Coming down
from Main Street. It could be from Main Street, or it could be the other application, the one that's the next on the agenda. It'd have to be worked together.
I see, gotcha.
So, but
Okay, well, while you're up there, do you want to run down on the next one?
yeah, definitely. So that one's 160 acres, and we're requesting, we originally requested the split zone, but we've heard some concerns, so we wanted to match the general plan and go with R1 acres on the entire site.
Okay, that's a larger parcel.
Yep,
north of that.
160 acres just north of that.
So everything 1 acre.
Everything 1 acres.
Maybe out in Marty's house.
Yes, if Marty lives right there, I'm pretty sure
No,
that's what.
no
it is.
half acre lots.
No
All
half
right.
acre.
Good. Any comments? Thank you. Appreciate that. Any public comments from folks online? For item number 6. Anybody in the room? Okay.
I have a comment on 7. I have a comment on 7, please. As I understand it, that area has been looked at by engineers for floodplain control. And changing the zoning to that area to something different than open space, in my mind, is going to complicate floodplain control. So that would be my comment.
Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Okay, we'll let that go because he's online and he didn't hear me gavel. So let's open the public hearing for item number 7, which is zone change application from the same applicant for AB 1329 from open space to RE1 and single family. Say, you already gave us the rundown on that. Any comments on that one from the folks online?
So you're taking half acre out.
Yes, 1 acre on the entire parcel.
Any comments from anybody in the room on that one? Okay, now close that here. Thank you all. Whew. Going along here, a couple more. Item number 8. This is the opening of a public hearing for a zone change application for AV 1313-D-1 from agriculture to single family half acre. The applicant is 2000 Maine LLC.
Them are the ones I was discussing and when I talked about adding them other people in,
Okay,
number 8 and 9.
gotcha. Both of those, okay. So that's all, they're all
Connected.
connected with each other.
In the general area.
It's Mark's Mile, right, and West Temple Village.
So this one is 74 acres just behind here. And then the next one, so number 9 would be 20 acres just behind that. So, yeah, it is connecting into that.
Okay.
parcel there.
Gotcha.
They are 3 separate deals, but they're kind of all the.
Okay, but they all can, there's nothing separating them.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Any comments online for number 8? Item number 8. 1313 D1. Anybody in the room? Yeah.
Margaret Osowski, 102 West Oak. Where are we getting all the water for all these homes that they're, they're proposing? Just curious. I guess that's not a good question, huh?
That's-
not part of our goals.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess part of what you said at the beginning that the planners have to consider is the infrastructure part of it. And the water is probably the biggest issue. And everyone up there, everyone in here knows we don't have any water. We say we do, but we aren't connected to anything. It hasn't been done. So even considering any of this without water available is, in my opinion, asinine. And I'm not anti-development either, I'm not.
What is your name so I can put it on record?
Oh, it's Brad Mammon,
And what's your, oh, that's it, thank you,
1063 East Big Pinion Lane.
thank you.
Go ahead.
That's it.
Yes, I know there's a Utah admin code 309-510-7 that the water source shall be able to meet the anticipated water demand and to be able to provide 1 year supply of water. However, Cedar City area for sure, Cedar Point cannot sustain 1 year of water.
Gotcha.
Why are we building?
What is your,
Jerry, please.
You had a comment? Go ahead. Yeah.
Now a good time to talk about water or when I come up later?
It's a public comment, so you got 2 minutes to talk about whatever you want.
I've heard water talked a lot about in the valley and everybody's saying they don't have water, and that may be true for many folks. Our situation's different because when we own a large, basically 3,300 acres of land here and we bought up a lot of the farms and that. We own 2,300 acre feet of water, which is double the amount that Apple Valley town has. And we're happy to assist in any way to add to, into the system for our homes. That's what I'll have to say.
And you've determined that there's water where you're.
Yeah.
You said you bought barns that water on them, is there wells on them? Where's the water?
We have another unique situation. We have not only the paper water, but we have the wet water. And we have 11 wells right here in this valley. And six more wells on the other side of the valley. So we've got that.
That's the city water system.
Yeah.
Thanks. Any other comments? There's some whispering. You want to share with everybody? Okay, let's close the public hearing on this one. Thank you all. And finally, we'll open the public hearing now for zone change application AB 1318 from agriculture to single family half acre. Number 9. Why are the applicants different? Can anybody help me understand that?
because he's working with a couple different companies, that's why they're separate,
Okay.
different builders, it seems like.
So any more comments on that particular one? It's basically the same idea. Anybody online have comments on this one, number 9? Anybody in the room? Okay, hearing none, we're gonna close the public hearing on that one. Thank you all for letting us blaze through those public hearings. That's the difficult part. Now's the part where you guys just all get to sit there and listen to us talk. What I mean by that is you don't get to talk. The public hearing is over. We're gonna do our business. Everybody got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, folks, let's have a discussion here. For zone change application AB 1365E, open space to RE10. I've asked Frank, as I said, who's a planner, happens to be a resident of the town, which is a bonus, so he's not charging us for this. To kind of run through each application and not only do we have as a group here for deliberation, the list of 4 criteria that I gave you earlier, but every application has, if you've seen it in the packet, a series of check boxes that the applicant has to meet in order for the applicant even just to be considered. So Frank, can you give us a rundown on
Yes.
number 10?
The first of all, I'm not a planner. I just have 28 years of experience in development.
So you were on the planning.
I was on the planning commission for 4 years in Hurricane and helped rewrite all their ordinances at that time. When talks with the planning commission chairman, we found out that this is super overwhelming for Little Apple Valley. And we don't have the staff that are capable of providing a review of an application. Neither are review of the actual merit of the application. So we separated this into 2 as I worked with the staff from Hurricane City. The first thing that was done was take a view of the application itself to see if it contained all the requirements that was necessary to be considered a complete application. So the first thing here, this is for Dennis Clark. It's a 10-acre parcel. The application fee should have been, I show $750. Can you verify if that is the fees paid?
Yes, I got it here too.
That is the fee?
Yes, $750.
Okay, thank you. It's currently zoned open space transitional, and the proposed zone is residential estates, 10 acres. And the general plan showed this as low density, which is 5 to 10 acres for that area. This is off Bubbling Wells, and it's adjacent, right immediately adjacent to below the property where I live. They met all the requirements. I'm going to read the requirements that are in there, or the questions that were there, just one time through, so everybody can get a feel for what the process we went through to make sure the applications were complete. And the same thing with the merits of the zone change. But in the interest of time, I'm not going to do it for every application.
Read them through once, and then you can tell us which ones if any, they haven't.
Okay. So the first one, all the fees paid, and I was just confirmed that they were. Does the proposed zone match the general plan? And it does. Should the applicant apply for a general plan change before applying for a zone change, which is normally the procedure everywhere? If a zone change doesn't match the general plan, then you go amend the general plan first. In this case, there was no need for that because it matched. Did the applicant apply for a general plan change before the zone change if it was needed? And there was no need for that because it matched. The application, did they put it on the planning commission form? There's a specific form that should be included with every application. If you want to be from the planning commission, you fill that form out and bring it to the planning commission. If you want to be with the town council, you fill that out and bring it in. Neither was done in this particular case. But those are mainly housekeeping things. Then we looked at the main items. Did the name of the person on the application and the property match? And yes, it did. And did they provide an accurate property map showing the existing and proposed zoning classification? And they did yes, both on the existing and yes on the proposed. Was there an accurate map showing the abutted properties zoning classification? And all this information is designed to allow the planning commissioners, town council, easy to see if this fit within what they're supposed to be looking at. So they don't have to do a bunch of research. Was there an accurate legal description to the property? And yes, there was. Was there proof that they have sent a mailing out to everyone? And yes, that was posted as well. A copy of a warranty deed or preliminary plat title showing evidence that the applicant actually has control of the property, and that was included with this application. So the application, so on this, this application met every criteria. So I'll go on now to the review of the actual zone, because this one met every aspect of it. On the zone, it is again 10 acres, open space, residential estates, low density, and it fit all the criteria. The first 4 criteria you look at as a planning commissioner and town council is whether the proposed amendment is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the town's general plan. The answer is that yes, it was consistent with the general plan. The zone change would make this property consistent with the general plan of this area. The second question is whether the proposed amendment is harmonious with the overall character of existing developments in the vicinity of the property, and yes, it is. The third one was to the extent which the proposed amendment may adversely affect adjacent properties, and the answer is this zone change would not adversely affect the adjacent property as they are zoned exactly the same as he is requesting. And the last one, the adequacy of facilities and services intended to serve the subject property included but not limited to roadways, parks, recreation facilities, police and fire protection, school, stormwater drainage systems, water supplies and wastewater, and refuse collection. The answer is access is through a combination of private and public roads. Water is to the property, including a water meter has already been paid and installed to the property. And the property will easily be served by a septic system as it's 10 acres. And the recommendation was approved, this one.
Great, thank you so much. Anybody up here have any questions for Frank?
No.
All right,
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the zone change of AB-1365-E from open space to RA10 to town council as the property needs or exceeds the general plan concern. All services, roads, water, and electric are available.
second. I heard one first. We're gonna get in there quick, huh? All right, any further discussion on this one? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you. So we now have, let's see here. I'd like, if it's okay with you guys up here, I'd like to just, since it's just our agenda now, and doesn't check down, I'd like to group things so that we're doing all the zone change applications, and then we'll do the preliminary plat things. Okay, so let's move on to item number 12, which is discussion of possible action on the zone change application for AB 1329B from open space to single family 1. Frank, you want to give us the rundown on the first of the two ways in which we got this? One is the application itself being.
Okay. This is 61.78 acres. The application fee they should have paid was $2,044.50. Does that match town records?
Do we have the amount? Okay.
Where do you see that at?
$2,044.50.
From where?
Where are you getting
No, that's the one we put in on ours.
Do you,
What's your record show?
Jenna, do you have,
We'll come up with, I'll confirm that, but I have to, we'll get a software system. So like we said, we'll come up with that first thing in the morning to confirm.
no, we can't, we can't.
the application right here.
No, she doesn't. That's the application review. That's how we determine whether or not.
That's what we wrote to determine what were the fees.
Do you think, Jenna, that by the time Frank gets through his report here, you could have looked up how much that applicant, if at all, paid?
I have my own evidence that we paid that much.
Do you have can you show that? Okay, while he's doing that, do you want to give us the next criteria?
Yes.
Thank you, by the way. That's helpful.
Current zone open space transitional. They're asking for a single family 1 acre lots.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
And the general plan shows this as 1 acre. It does meet the general plan. So there's no need to apply for a general plan change. They did not use the application for planning commission or town council, which is none of them really did. The names on this matches. Did they provide an accurate zoning map of existing and proposed zoning classification? The answer is almost. So there was one error on it that they showed the acreage to the next to them as being open space when it was rezoned a few months ago. But other than that, they did meet that. Was there an accurate map showing the abutted properties? Yes. Legal description was there? Yes. Proof of mailing? Yes. A copy of the warranty deed? Yes. So I would suggest that we go to the zone review since there was no discrepancies. There was just so minor that it was. Whether the proposed amendment is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the town's general plan, the answer is this meets the minimum suggested size for the general plan, if minimum is what the town wants. Whether the proposed amendment is harmonious with the overall character of existing developments in the vicinity, and the proposed zoning change is harmonious with the adjacent developments. To the extent that the proposed amendment may adversely affect adjacent property, the answer is this would adversely affect the adjacent properties if access is allowed through Rome Way. And then the next question is the adequacy of facilities and services intended to serve the subject property, included but not limited to roadways, parks, recreation facilities, police, fire, school, stormwater drainage, water supplies, and wastewater and refuse collection. Answer is there is not adequate road access to this property as Rome Avenue is not designed to be a collector road. With the road at points being only 19 foot wide and no other road access is available to this property at this time. There are also serious questions about the town having adequate water resources to service the property, and sewer is also an issue. The recommendation was to deny this application.
Thank you, Frank. Okay, commissioners. Oh, yeah.
The deed only conveys a 50% interest. Do we have both deeds on our application? There's 2 deeds consecutively recorded, but we only have 1 deed in our packet. Do we have 2 on file with them?
I would have to confirm that, but I would assume yes, if someone said there's 2 deeds, yes. There's already in the packet, they're saying.
For sure there's 2 in the
Yours
packet.
is pretty honest.
Pardon?
I'm pretty sure there's 2 in the packet.
But I can always confirm.
Okay.
So what's up with that?
And I'll-
Where's your
No.
road coming in, not Rome Way? You won't be using Rome Way.
So are we talking about the zone change or the preliminary plat?
We can't do as we deliberate, if you remember that among the criteria, the final one was if there's adequate services that would allow us to make those changes. And so the question is just in general, do you have plans?
We definitely have plans to avoid using Rome Avenue up there. We have an easement going out to Main Street. And then we believe the town would also benefit from having a road connect up to Goodler Way. And that's where we want to put our efforts, and we believe that'll be the biggest help to the town. But I still know we're at that level yet. We're just talking about zoning right now.
Well, unfortunately, they're connected. Again, if you use those criteria, if we can't adequately service the parcel, then it's a challenge to approve.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard because it's the chicken and the egg. I mean, the solutions come with a plat. But yeah, we're working on the zone.
Well, yeah,
Can I give him access off the highway to my land and planning on a road tying into Goobler Lane right here? So he would just be getting access up over the water, where the water tanks are.
That's what we've been working on, yeah.
Yeah,
None of it exists.
it's all drawn on everything we've got. We can get that approved right here.
okay, thanks, appreciate that.
What road? Original road on Goodler Home.
Frank, are you done?
Yeah, thank you, Frank.
Do we have any discussion on this?
What do you guys think?
So he's gonna do a road separate from the land. So this is about doing the road from the road, and he's getting access to Main Street.
That's what I have. We so are asked to make a zone change, which is not a promise. And the zone change allowed, once it's changed, it's changed. And I'm really reluctant to do it on a promise. There's not a,
They can't get a permit without the preliminary plat and everything else going through, so it's that the zone change gives them the ability to spend money. Right,
yeah, but
right.
I think it's some, I mean,
But
the
yeah,
thing is,
nobody's gonna spend money without a zone change. So he's already working on it.
the town takes all the risk. That doesn't seem to be-
There's no risk for his own change.
Yes, there is.
Can't do a permit.
Now all of a sudden, it's zoned a different way, just like that.
It meets all,
Somebody comes
it
and
meets
says-
all of our general map, it meets all of our other stuff.
So it doesn't meet
It
the
just goes up like
criteria.
the road is. The road-
The road's not in. Which is good. On the application, we have to be able to provide services to the people of that.
When somebody comes into doing development anywhere else, there's no road there, they have to build their own. Frank's built many ways. The road's not there, then he doesn't get his project denied, he says, okay, we're gonna build the road, we're gonna connect it over here to these
But it
roads.
just doesn't say that,
What does it say?
commits to it. That's the point. Right now, we've got no, we've got, I'll do that. That's a verbal.
Well,
This town has done that so many times.
He actually came to JUC, he's showed us in JUC the plans that you're asking about, and they are putting the road over there, and they're gonna put it in there. It's in there in JUC. Come to JUC. Joint commission, road department, fire department.
Yeah, but again, was there some contract saying, yeah? I mean, I don't understand. When you have a discussion in a room like this, so commit anybody, anything. That's the problem we're into here. We keep doing these zone changes and then we hope when we get what they ask us. They're asking us.
So far, that's not even really the case, because we do his own change and nobody's even built it. There's no developer that screwed the town in any way, shape, or form, because we haven't had anything built. We haven't done a single new project up in this town in years. We have Cedar Point. That's it. And Gooseberry, that's it. There's nothing new. Nothing. Nothing new, period.
I'm gonna make the motion that we table the zoning change for AB -13 29B until the first PC Planning Commission meetings of January 2022 to allow time to submit the items.
No, that's the wrong one. That's,
Where are we at?
you're looking from if it was an incomplete application.
Yeah, well, that's-
Theirs were not incomplete. We went on to discuss the actual zone change. So on the next page, where the review is.
This is confusing me going off of our agenda.
I don't, let me show you. I'd actually like to make a motion that we recommend denial to the town council for the zone change for AV 1329B from open space to single family 1 for the following reasons. While it does meet the minimum requirements for the general plan of a 1 acre, that is zoned 1 to 5. And if you remember, when I read the general plans description of what residential looks like, this doesn't meet that. That area should be predominantly large lots, more like 5 acre, not 1 acre. Also, I'm concerned that we don't have adequate road access to this property. As we just discussed, Rome Avenue is not designed to be a collector road. As we know, some parts of that road are pretty narrow. Site distances are a problem, so on. This parcel should access through future roads, don't currently exist, or another collector road. And finally, it's my belief that we might have significant problems with both adequate water supply and the sewer problems that need to be resolved before applying for approving a zone change on this property. Janet has seconded. Any further discussion? Those in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you all. We're going to move on to a zone change application review of let's see. Item number 1366D-1 from open space to single family quarter acre. Frank, you want to give us a rundown of the application itself before we talk about its merits?
Yes. This is 9 acres and it is located just next to Cedar Point, to the left side, to the west side as you drive in there. It is currently zoned open space transition. They're requesting single family quarter acre lots. And the general plan shows this to be a commercial piece. So the proposed zoning does not match the general plan. Therefore, they should have requested a general plan amendment before they came for zone change. I'll skip the form portions. The ownership on the application, that is correct. They did provide an accurate map showing the existing and proposed zoning classification. They did provide an accurate map showing the abutted properties zoning classifications, and did provide a description, a legal description of the proposed property. And they provide a mailing, proof of mailing these out to their adjacent property owners. There was a copy of a warranty deed or preliminary title report that showed evidence that they had control of the property. There was the application as what was available. It showed that that submitted the application and submitted maps makes references to twin homes, patio homes, townhomes, and clubhouse, none of which are allowed in a single family zone. So we suggest that they resubmit an application where any references to those things has been removed. It has been consistent when a application and and or maps don't match, then we end up in a legal battle later on, what was approved and what wasn't. And also, there is a master plan road that goes through their property that's on our Apple Valley Road Master Plan. And that should be considered prior to making any changes to this property. So there's a frontage roads are supposed to go through there. Based on the last two items, it was the recommendation that this be tabled to allow them time to fix those problems.
Yeah, there are a few problems with the application. Anybody have any,
I just have one comment. They did make a notice that they wanted to change it from patio homes to single family homes, 21 lots and 21 dwelling units, from the original 21 lots and 42 dwelling units. So they did make a change to that.
If I can make a suggestion for staff in the future as well.
Sure.
The problem we have here is what was submitted to us, what we pulled offline from that was supplied to the planning commission and town council showed all those things. That you get multiple phone calls and changes throughout. When you look at the application, it specifically says you need to turn a complete application in 14 days prior to the meeting. And what has happened here with many of these applications is that here's a change, here's the change. You get an email, and we can't keep going back to our planners in Hurricane and say, oh, by the way, what about this now? What about this? What about that? So I think it's important that whatever they submit is what they got. If they want to pull it and then resubmit it with the changes, that's great.
I agree. I just wanted to.
But this
I just
midst,
wanted to make that comment.
no, I know, for everybody. It's
Yeah,
just,
I'm not-
this has been
Thank
one
you.
review after the other. And then you got 14 different maps you're trying to figure out what it is, and that's very, very difficult.
so since there are problems with the application, there's no sense in us really reviewing it. So anybody want to make a motion?
I make a motion to take this one change for AV dash 1366-D-1 from open space to single family 1/4 acres. These steps was to take you for applying to the EC Jim again. And I want everything that Frank noted put on my motion.
And let me just review those two things so we are on the same page.
Chairman, I think at some point before you vote, you should offer the applicant an opportunity to address some of these issues. I think that would be fair before votes taken to the table.
Thank you for your input. I don't want to do that though, so go ahead.
Okay, well, so the items that I found,
Motion's been already done. It's already in process.
I should have spoken up sooner,
Yeah,
so
sorry about that.
that was just a suggestion.
Gotcha.
so their application shows patio home, townhomes, and on their maps that were submitted. And we don't even have such a zoning in Apple Valley. The smallest we have is a 1/4 acre lot. And not patio homes, townhomes, or anything else. And they show clubhouse on their property, which is typical for patio homes. The map they also submitted showed a line going through doing duplexes on it. So anyway, so I suggest they just correct their application. That's the reason why that their application, so they remove all references to it. And then they do need to address the fact that there's a master plan road to work that out with the town council to see if they want to change their master plan and if there's a way to fix it.
I don't see any way it gets approved without that. So whoever the applicant is here, I would suggest before you resubmit, you have a conversation about that road with town council commitment.
And you've already made your motion, haven't voted yet, but if we're resubmitting, do I need to resubmit an amendment to the general plan
Yes.
You would want to first go to an amendment general plan before you bring the.
before you do
application.
anything else?
Yeah,
So we come in as a general plan.
make a general plan amendment application. Yeah.
It just be, if the town had no interest in changing their general plan, why would you want to do preliminary plats and why are we paying all the fees for a zone change? So it only makes sense that you start with, see are they willing to change their general plan?
Okay, we can do that, but the thought from the planning commission, and hearing a little bit tonight, is a single family quarter acre lot, is that, are we wasting our time?
Yeah.
It's not in harmony with the rest of
If we have
the.
our own.
I would suggest you take a deep dive into the general plan before you ask for quarter acre lots.
But is 1 acre appropriate? Is,
Cedar Point is 1/2 to 1 acre.
right? And so if we were compatible with that, is that a reasonable approach to submit?
But you'll find out when, if you go and ask about the general plan. Whether, because if they're stuck on this gonna be a commercial place, you don't even get further about whether this size or that size. But if they say, yeah, we'll consider homes, then you can have that
Yeah,
discussion.
it sounds like there, I mean, and that road that's on a general, the general transportation plan is, that's gotta be addressed before.
We can certainly address that. I just want to know for what's the next step.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't
You
want
need
to
to-
come back and amend something and then.
Yeah, I would resubmit your application without asking for a general plan update first. That would be your best course of action. So the motion is, as Janet read it, with those lists of criteria that Frank,
and I want everything that Frank mentioned in my motion also, please.
okay, and you seconded it. Wayne, any further discussion on that? Lee, anything?
Yeah, one of the other issues with the zoning is commercial now, so, it's way out of whack.
It's the general plan that shows commercial.
Yeah, it's not as old that.
Yeah, it's planned to be commercial. It's currently open space transition.
Yeah, I think,
So motion to table this.
Table.
Lovely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
all right, so let's take a vote. Those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Passes, thank you all. All right,
Chairman,
yes.
if I could have 2 or 3 minutes, I'd like to put a finer point on some of these issues, since I'm here tonight on the zone change considerations. If you'd entertain, I have a view of those that I think might benefit.
Yeah, that'd be great. Go ahead. We'll give you
So-
3 minutes.
Am I three? I get 3 minutes? Okay,
You said 2 or 3. We'll give you
2,
3.
will give me 3. So those 4 considerations. Dayton Hall, I'm the town attorney, and by the way, it's the first time I'm fairly new to the town, first time I've been here to the planning commission. Those 4 considerations are valid considerations, but there's a difference between considerations and elements. Elements are, if they don't meet that box, then you can't recommend approval. The considerations, you're required to look at all 4 of those things. So it's possible, it's feasible that there might be a zone change application where one of those may not be met, but because of other reasons that counteract that, that element, you could recommend approval. That would be the exception rather than the rule. But my concern is we're looking at these as elements instead of considerations. So they're considerations. The general plan under state code is advisory, and we discussed this, Chairman, unless it's amended by the town's ordinance to be something other than advisory. Apple Valley has not changed their ordinances to make the general plan anything other than a consideration for a zone change. It's a consideration, and recommending denial of a zone change because it doesn't comply with the general plan is generally a really sound reason to do so. But again, there could be scenarios where a property meets the other 3 considerations, but not the general plan. And if you guys think that the reasons are good enough to not comply with the general plan, your ordinance does not technically require an applicant to amend the general plan to file an application for a zone change that does not meet the general plan. Now, if the applicant asks for a zone that doesn't comply with the general plan, you may recommend to deny it because it doesn't meet the general plan, and that would be a risk that applicants are going to take. But under your ordinance, it's not a requirement. So I just wanted to make sure we're all clear on that.
Appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good clarity.
Okay, thank
And
you.
Just so everybody understands in response to that last discussion we just had, we didn't even consider any of those 4 criteria. We talked about the application itself.
Sure.
And if the application isn't full, isn't complete, we have the option to just outright recommending denial, but we're giving the applicant some time to submit an application that's going to get to the review. Okay, so thanks. Next one is item number 4, which is I'm sorry, item number, that's the 4th one of these. Yeah, we're gonna pass on the general, we're gonna do the plat application.
So 16.
Number 16, this is a discussion and possible action on zone change application for lot AB 2184 and 2165, open space, tiny, two cabins, tiny park zone, and planned development zone, and RE1. Frank, will you give us the application review first and before we get to the criteria?
Yes. This is AB 2184 and 2165. There's a problem with the owner agent. I couldn't figure it out. It shows seal holding on the deed, yet it shows standard development on the application. And there is no affidavit that shows that, and there is also no, well, there's a warranty deed, but that shows seal holding.
Yeah.
So that needs to be worked out, figured out that who is who and who has right to represent this land. There's 728.48 acres. The application fee paid should be $11,284.80. Can we show that has been paid?
I've got 9,427.
No, that's the wrong one.
What did you say? Just Frank, so I can confirm.
$11,284.80.
We're doing going out of order. I'm an orderly person.
So do we show Jenna a check for $11,284.80 anywhere?
You guys can keep talking and keep going, and then
Okay.
I'll let you
You
know.
can find that, that'd be great.
Okay, so just remind me if this application fails, we'll just make that one of the reasons.
Sure.
If we can't verify that they paid that. The current zone is open space transition. They're proposing cabin and tiny parks, planned development, and residential estate 1 acre lots. Currently, the general plan shows this as golf course, commercial, and medium density, which is 1 to 5 acres. Should the applicant apply for general plan change? Again, that's a safer way to go. Less money, you can get, you have to see whether they will agree with your general plan change or not without paying almost $12,000. I'll skip down here to the meat of the bond. I mentioned that there's the warranty deed, and the applicant does not show that they represent them. An accurate property map was not submitted and proposed with the proposed zoning classifications. We do not know, they didn't provide any existing zoning map, they did not provide any proposed zoning map. They do not provide a map showing the abutted properties zoning. They did provide a legal description for the property, and they did provide proof of mailing. And they did provide a warranty deed, but it does not match the applicant. The proposed was to deny due to all the missing item. It was incomplete. Table, excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, since there's so much missing off the application, it doesn't make sense for us to review it. Do I have a motion to table this one?
I make a motion
Do you
to zone change for AB 2184 and AB -2165 until our first PC meetings. This will allow time for you to get together, get the submitted items identified as missing or incomplete.
I have all the stuff. I can have it to you in the morning.
You got it. Okay. We're in the middle of a motion here, sorry.
And included in my motion, I'd like to have everything that Mr. Linhart read before.
So the reason for the for tabling it was first to give them a chance to clarify ownership and who can represent the owners. The second one, to give them an opportunity to provide a property map showing the existing and proposed classifications, zoning classifications, and provide us with an accurate map showing the abutted properties zoning classifications. And did we show?
I'll get we could add that to that.
So we don't have the same number.
I'm pretty sure they paid that. I just have to do a little bit more research.
Okay,
I
so
cannot-
let's just,
I cannot confirm or deny the amount, but they did. You have your,
You show one for 9,000, but the other two we paid 1,500 each on. I added them other, so it is more than the 11,000 you're talking about.
perfect.
okay, so, but we'll just leave it in there that we have no evidence of the
Can you repeat
application.
those just so since I was.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So the first one would be, we have no evidence that the application fee of $11,284.80 has been paid. The second one, that you need to provide ownership affidavit that matches the application and the warranty deed. And then you need to provide us with a property map showing the existing and proposed zoning classifications and an accurate map showing the abutting properties zoning classifications. That's it.
Do I have a second?
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
So this gives them time to come in to the meetings in January and do this.
Right.
Get this done.
All right, let's take a vote on the motion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. All right, thank you. We're gonna do 1343A1. So the next item on the agenda is number 17, discussion and possible action on zone change application for AB 1343-A-1 from open space to RE1. Frank, will you give us a rundown on the application itself?
Yes, the owner agent shows as TLW Investments, Travis or Libby Wells agents. They show them both themselves as owner and agent on the affidavit. This is a 40-acre parcel. The application fee, should have been paid, is a total of $1,500.
Yes, that has been paid.
Did you say you have that?
Yes, that has been paid.
Great. It currently shows as open space transition. They are asking for residential estates 1 acre. The general plan shows medium density, which is 1 to 5 acre lots. They do not see let's just skip down here. They did not provide an accurate map showing the existing and proposed zoning classification. They did not provide an accurate map showing the abutting properties zoning classifications. And there was not a warranty deed or preliminary title report showing evidence that the applicant has control of the property.
Okay, and I'm assuming you're recommending we table that to get that all.
Correct. Give them a chance to correct that.
Gotcha.
You know, this is the one with Bulls Wash running right through the middle of it.
No, this is not. This is,
No,
oh, this is 1342. Yes. If we were going to discuss all the merits of the zone change, then all that will be brought up, that it is actually subject to our hillside and census lands ordinances. But since we're only discussing the application at this point, none of that was brought up.
So I just have one quick comment. If the affidavit is there, I see attached to affidavit because it says on F warranty deed or preliminary title document or other document. The affidavit is there in this. So I'm just wondering if we still need the warranty deed if we have the affidavit. Because it says or in the.
Yes, I'm familiar.
application.
I'm very familiar with that form. 3 years ago, when I got involved with the town, Apple Valley had only one application for everything, every one of them. And they were It was just, do you want to appear before the planning commission for, tell us what? There was no instructions to anybody, what you had to give or submit, or there was nothing. So I spent weeks and weeks and weeks, and I took all the applications from Hurricane, adopted them to Apple Valley and submitted it, and then that's what we're using today. Yeah. Somehow that got changed.
Okay, so I'm just saying what we have currently, that's what it.
I
says.
understand. But somehow that got changed because it makes sense that they give an affidavit of who can work and who they are. But that's still not proof. That's just a written warranty deed is proof that you are an owner. And that's why when I go to Hurricane, you go anywhere else, that's one of the things you submit.
It's just something I had just saw, so I just wanted to make that comment.
And I agree with that.
Okay, so I will make that note too.
There, yeah, because their application isn't complete.
May I ask a clarification on the items? So you said the map wasn't complete. This map was part of the application.
So
This map shows everything you requested that need to be on it.
And
It
it's
shows
right
the zone. Shows the zone.
okay,
Shows the surrounding property zones. I'm just clarifying, are you saying that we don't have this map because it was part of the application? That is not our map.
The map is page 72 in our agenda packet.
14,
That's
46.
supplied with your original.
This is not what's on the website. When we download it from the town website, this is what we got.
It was put on there yesterday.
I believe by law, we have 24 hours in advance to add anything onto the agenda if it's already.
No,
But
that's
that,
not with regard to an application, though.
This was,
It's just,
But it was,
the application has to be complete and submitted 14 days ahead.
so we submitted it before the 14 days to the town
Yeah.
on this. So I'm just clarifying if this
Correct,
map
we
was a
did.
part of the application. It sounds like it was to me. So I just want to clarify if we need to do anything different on this item.
Okay, that's a good question.
if that is, just resubmit that and then,
Well, no,
but we
that's
don't,
just- that's
this
just one
wasn't
item.
presented.
That's just one item. That's the map that was submitted. So that map showed, I'm asking that item is not a reason for table because it was provided per the city code.
It wasn't provided to the planning commission.
Wasn't provided.
But she just said it was
is,
within
page
24 hours,
72. Yeah, and it
which is all
was.
that's required.
With-
When was this submitted? When was this submitted?
Because it wasn't 14
It was
days.
submitted 3 months ago.
No, that picture right there.
No, the other, I'm talking about the other one that was part of this application. I'm not talking about the other property. I'm talking about the 40 acres.
The one you're just showing right there.
This is for the other property. This is what
Oh.
I brought one.
Okay,
But
so you
one-
should have one that are identical to that apparently was look like for this parcel, but it's not there.
No, it's in their packet. It
Yes,
was
it
submitted and it's in the packet.
was put in yesterday.
So I'm just clarifying.
You're talking about
It was
this?
put in yesterday.
No, I'm talking about page 72.
72.
This one here.
It's not 48.
No, that's not.
No, that's the other one, but we had a,
This is the 40 acres you're talking.
is it? I can't tell, sorry.
Yeah, but it's not there.
Oh,
If you go online right now, it's not
Did you
there.
did you put this on the?
Yeah, but they just put it
you
in
added
yesterday.
this 2 days ago?
And that's what I talked about
No,
is,
that has
how
been
can
there.
we provide reviews when they keep adding to it? And you know how it works in any other city. If you don't submit it all up front, you're not getting on.
Shouldn't even been on in front of the planning commission yet. Especially since it's sensitive lands and open conserve.
Are you asking for my opinion? I'd like to jump into this.
Sure.
So I'd like to understand why Frank's packet doesn't have this page in it. I downloaded this today and this is what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Is that the map?
I thought this one also.
I thought she had.
No.
Is that a different
That's
one than
map
that?
we provided. Yeah, I don't know what that.
That's, we provided that for help for the
Okay,
planning commission.
That's that map, yeah. That's not my packet, Frank. Why isn't that in my packet?
Oh, you didn't get one of them?
No, I didn't.
Sorry.
So here's what we have to consider is, does the planning commission have sufficient information? And was it timely provided such that the planning commission can make a recommendation on the application? So that's the question, right? Is do you have adequate information? I'm still unclear on what you have and what you don't have.
Okay, this
So we need to sort that out first of
Yeah,
all.
Frank has given them extra stuff that we don't have either, so.
But that's neither here nor there. The point is,
Oh, that's-
we
yeah.
looked at the application when we saw the
And we
agenda.
go to the county
We need-
recorder.
That's why we need minimum of 2 weeks to review this stuff. If you add stuff inside that 2 weeks before our meeting, we can't use that information to adequately process these applications. That's bait and switch. I mean,
So this is the map. So this covers both our properties.
Okay,
This one is right there.
okay, so you're talking about this one.
This parcel, right?
It's never ending.
So it was one parcel, those with both our applications.
And when was this provided?
So this one was
With
provided,
the original application
the
or?
original application had a change on the other, on the north side, but the south side is the same. So we can go back to the original map. But,
Okay, the original map, you're landlocked. The 40 acres is landlocked.
how's it landlocked? I'm just asking.
Justin, yeah.
Because you can't go through Rolling Way there.
Well, I don't, there's nothing to do with it.
And then we've got, then you have Cool Squash, I mean, right down the center, which, will have our.
When was this provided? Is this the one that was added yesterday or?
I don't know when they added it. But for this, I'm talking this one application.
Right.
This is this one. This has never changed. It's always been the same zone.
So here's the question for the commission.
because
Do
we
you,
don't have this, we got it,
okay,
we got it.
you're good?
Thank you. Because we didn't have the information adequate to review the application ahead of time, I'm gonna make a motion that we table this application for a period of, let's call it 30 days to allow the applicant to provide the information that we didn't have. That would include a warranty deed and to make sure that we have the updated map. Is there anything else we missed from that list that you provided, Frank?
The warranty needs,
In spite of the fact that it might say, or I want to see the warranty deed.
So we did provide a warranty as well.
Was it?
If you say we didn't, then we didn't, but we did.
You know, and it very well, honestly,
No, that's
given the
fine.
way staff sometimes do things around here, you might have put it all exactly right and we just didn't get it. So I'm not even, it's not even necessarily on you, but now it is because we didn't have it. We can't review these adequately without you.
the only thing you add is an accurate map showing the abutting properties that is required. That was not there
The
either.
abutting property, got it.
But just for clarification, we did present to staff. It was in your packet. Right?
There's a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
I second.
Any discussion?
I think everything
Yes.
that's required, was requested to be included in the motion.
Yeah, he did. We did. All right, let's vote on that. Those in favor of the motion, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Did you say aye?
Yes.
Okay, that passes unanimously. Thank you. Yeah, we gotta have, we're done with this, you know, hey, I'll do that next time kind of stuff. This, we're talking about thousands of homes.
We're talking about thousands of acres.
Very soon, by the way, this town's gonna be a city. We're gonna have all kinds of new requirements upon us. So we gotta put on our big boy pants and do things right around
We
here.
have adequate water.
And that is, by the way, not a criticism of the applicants,
No.
honestly.
So I don't think
At all.
it's that way.
Okay, just making sure.
We need
We're-
adequate water for current residents too. Oh,
Okay, next item on the list is number 18, the discussion and possible action on zone change application for AV 1329 from open space to RE1 and a single family one.
it's 157.
Same applicant, right? You
157.
want to run us through the application?
Yes.
Thank you.
First of all, I do want to make one comment is, I mean, staff may have missed this, but I'm telling you, this is completely overwhelming to go through this many applications, this much work. And that you miss 2 or 3 papers, it's fully understandable. Yes, this is, the owner shows as 3W Investments on the application. However, the affidavit shows Cedar Vista and as an agent, Alliance Consulting. Is this 1329? 1329. Did I?
75 acres.
I'm okay to move on? Okay, I show an application fees that should have been paid of $3,866.25.
Can you verify that, Jenna?
Um,
We'll move on while you're looking.
Yeah, we'll see how it turns out, but, okay, the current zone is open space transition. The proposed zone is residential RE1, which is residential estates 1 acre. And single family half-acre lots as well.
Yeah, I did remove that.
All 1 acre.
All one
So you remove the,
A couple weeks ago, we submitted one.
okay.
acre. Say we did
Okay,
three,
the application still shows the same thing here, so we have the same problem again.
Same map, right? This is the map you reviewed that has all those items. So
Yeah.
you do have this map that shows the property owners.
yeah,
We're looking at the application.
We're looking at the application,
Okay.
so it's the same thing here.
We have to review the application on it.
And the affidavit shows Cedar Vista with no reference of 3W Investments. I'm just bringing out the facts that is available in the package we received. So the name, the application shows 3W Investments. The affidavit shows Cedar Vista. So that definitely needs to be changed and clarified, so it should reflect who it actually is. The accurate map showing the existing and proposed zoning for Clayton was not there. And since they took out the half-acre lots, that comment's gone. And we don't have a map showing the abutting property zoning classifications either. And we did not get a warranty deed showing the applicant has control of the property.
Well, Did you, were you able to find the 3866?
Yes, they've paid. So I bet, you know,
We need to know the amount. correct?
We'll just make it part of that.
Okay, well, again, we got an application that's not quite ready for review, so
yeah, I make a motion that the table zone change for AB -1329 from open space transitional to single family 1 acre until the first planning meeting, January 2022, to allow time to submit items identified as missing, incomplete, incorrect on this application form. And along with my motion, I'd like all of Mr. Rupert's comments entered as with my motion.
So
and
just,
those are,
Yeah, so I'll clarify that. Number one, they need to clarify the ownership and who is the ownership and who represents them. And they need to provide the existing and proposed zoning maps and the adjacent properties zoning classification and a affidavit, warranty deed or preliminary title report.
okay, do I have a second? Lynn, second that? You're gonna get on, you're gonna get on the record. What is it?
Next time you're like that.
I will. Any further discussion on this one? No. Right? All right, let's take a vote on the motion. Those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. All right. We're seeing a trend here. You try to pile a whole bunch of applications in front of us all at once, and
They're missing stuff.
things are gonna fall through the cracks. Next one, we got a zone change application to discuss and possibly take action for. The application is for AB 1313-D-1 from agriculture to single family half acre. We're coming in on a home stretch here. Frank, you want to give us a review on this one?
Yes. The owner agent shows us 2000 Main LLC, Travis Holm. And that is consistent. There's 542 acres, 0.74 acres in this application. The application fee that should have been paid is $9,427.40.
That's incorrect.
I have provided the math here, so there is a $500 application fee for the record. The fee is $25 for 1 through 100 acres, so that's $2,500. The fee for 101 through 500 acres is $15, so that's $6,000. And then anything over 500 is $10, and that would be the 42.74. That's $427.40. Those numbers added together gives us $9,427.40.
Yeah, so this is, it's a portion of that parcel, not the whole. If you look at the, if you take a look at the map, the map will clarify what we're doing next.
There's 542.74 acres in the application or no?
Now, if you look at the map, it should say.
On the application itself, how many acres did it say? Can anybody tell me? Who's got the application?
Well, but this here is for the ID 1313D-1. It's not a map. It's it's an ID. And that has this much acres in
We're
it.
talking about the application. On the application, it does not, where right now, when the acres, it doesn't say.
It doesn't say it's partial, right?
See, when you're looking at the 500 acres, that's everything west of this building clear to the corner. That, most of that's already been zoned and passed off 2 years ago. All we're trying to rezone is just this red zone. You should have that on your maps. What's the acres out there, 70?
Yeah, it'll say, on everything was
So we
turned in,
got-
it's 74 point.
We actually overtake on that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's not your fault that our application isn't as thorough as it should be. So go ahead with the next one.
So it has the existing zoning. It was a zoning map that was provided, but the proposed zoning was not. And they're also missing proposed location. They're asking for multiple zonings, but there's no map that shows what they want where. So you can't grant just a blanket. Then they can pick and choose. So that's why those maps are so critical, that it shows you, this is where we want this zone, this is where we want this zone. So, and that is missing.
Can we see what you guys have? Because that's, I mean, we submitted everything he's saying, we didn't submit along those lines, so.
So what we got from you was this one. And we got,
Application.
your application is right here.
Do you have the whole, like, packet? Like, that's page,
Oh, wait a minute. So this is the wrong one.
is that page 80? So like this should be page,
1313-1.
this should start in page 80, right?
Is this the 20 acres?
This one is the 74.178.
So I have a wrong title on this one.
It's
1313-1.
it's still under 2008, so it should be.
We're looking at 1313-D-1. You get your
Page 80.
review mixed up?
I did.
Okay.
So. Let me see here.
Not surprised. I'm surprised we got this far without.
Oh, my goodness, this has been overwhelming, and I've been knocking on the doors down there at Hurricane City constantly.
You're more than welcome to call me anytime. I can help you and we could go through it together.
Oh, that
I
one.
would be love to do that.
Let's see. Yeah, so I don't have a review of this one here, 1313-D-1. This is 1330-D-1, let me see. Let's see.
Did the applicant apply for a general plan change before applying for a zone change? Yes. Did the applicant apply for a general plan change before applying for a zone change?
He
No.
told, he said that that's.
But see, I show on the map here, when I printed out the zoning map, 1313-D-1 is the property where it's 542 acres.
Yeah, we went through the minutes, and before, a couple of years ago, we did everything along the highway, we already zoned. And so now we're coming back, according to our map we drew.
Yeah, that was in November of 18.
Yeah, that sounds right. So we're coming in, according to our map, it shows exactly what we're zoning in red. You have a
Okay.
But it shows,
map right here.
but, but we don't, we just have a tax ID again. That's your application.
Yeah, so that is,
So-
that is the parcel number, but according to the map, it's correct,
Because our application doesn't say clarify your acreage on it, but then the map clarifies his acreage is what it's trying to say.
yeah, if you go to the map, all the info is there.
Okay, you go to kind of record.
But also the map that shows the proposed zones is not there unless everything is half acre.
No, no, if you go to the map,
It does
it
on
shows,
the-
zoned SF half, SF half, everything around there, we show the zoning. Yeah, if you look, it's all labeled, every parcel around it is labeled.
Doesn't mean. So, no, this, yeah, so you're proposing everything here to be half acre, this entire 542 acres?
No, just what we drew in the map, so it's 74.17. 4 acres, we're proposing a area for a church, 18 acres we're proposing for a school. So the remaining would be half acres, yes. If you look at the map, it's all clarified. I think your map is in black and white.
Yeah, page 82 on our back.
No, I got it, but this is unfortunately all we have to work with. So it's really difficult to determine what all that is.
We submitted a big,
You tabled one of your applications already.
one of them.
Yeah. I think just to be, for the sake of clarity, I think it'd be wise for us to just go ahead and table this, how you resubmit.
No, what do you think?
This one is the guy that you.
Well, let me finish my review, then you can.
Go ahead, yeah, go ahead, get that done.
Order, please.
Okay, so there's obviously some confusion about this because we went by what the tax ID showed. The little blurb map there is very difficult to determine and read.
We turned in.
But in addition to that, let me just finish. So in addition to that, they did not provide a legal, proposed legal description of the proposed property they want to rezone. And they did not provide any mailing, proof of mailing it, and they did not provide a warranty deed or preliminary title report showing control over the property.
Okay. Yeah, this one comes a little closer. Obviously, we're seeing a weakness in the way our applications read because we ask you for a parcel number, which you provide. And you're only asking for rezoning a part of that parcel number. So that's our bad.
But it does ask for legal, we gave it the legal, so
But-
that spells
Well,
everything
that's
out.
part of West Temple Village, right?
Correct. And so we submitted legal, this, I feel really strongly, this application is complete. Especially, of what.
You have your own water.
Yeah.
There's no science.
Yeah, water.
I remember doing this November
Yeah,
18
that's right.
and May again 19. I have all the big maps.
So which documents are there?
Which is the,
Right now, they have the growth zone, the existing zone, and the legal description. So which other ones are we missing?
so we're missing the warranty deed.
So we're missing a warranty deed?
And we're missing the mailings, and we're missing the description of the property to be.
The application says or affidavit, right? You sign affidavit.
That is what the application says.
It does say or affidavit, you have an affidavit.
This one.
Well, we can take it on its merits then. Let's move on to let's take it on its merits.
Okay.
So we're not missing anything there because we have an
Yeah, it
application.
looks like it's pretty.
Well, you guys decide if you want to table, if you want to take it on its merit. We're ready to.
In our packet, we have some of the things you were saying, and now we have an application. What else are we missing? Let's make sure we have what we need. So what are we missing?
Well, the stuff that I found, we found, was the proposed location of each of the zones.
That's already here. It's on this.
Right, but I'm just telling what we found, and we didn't have a proposed or map showing the abutting properties zone classifications. That's on that one there too?
This is your map now? 'Cause I
This
have
is
your,
what's in our pack.
okay, what I have is your map from, May 22nd of 18. No, this is when we first did their zone change. And you greatly reduced the size of the property.
The reason is because the front, like along Highway 59
Yeah.
is, that's already zoned the way we want it.
Yes,
And that took place back then.
yeah.
And we were missing a little farther north on the other side of the wash.
This is the north.
And that's on the wash.
What else we missing, Frank?
Well, that's it. I mean, I can't read any of that, so that's,
Yeah, that's,
it's,
Okay, well, tell you what, this one does look like it is a relatively complete application. There's a couple little minor things, and this is a chance for me to say that moving forward, we specifically have an application to appear in front of the planning commission that should accompany all of these applications. I'm not gonna entertain any more applications without that, because I have to sign it. And we don't want to be in this situation again where we have incomplete applications that just show up on our agenda.
yes.
So let's make that painfully clear to any applicant. Every applicant that comes before us has 2 applications to fill out.
Yes,
Okay.
confirm. I'm gonna write that on the minute.
Because this doesn't show where the church is and other things.
It does on the one that I gave.
This is pretty.
Yeah, it does on.
So let's take a look at this, Frank. Let's
Okay.
everybody see how the sausage is made, and let's
Okay.
review this on its merits.
we'll do that.
On all your maps.
The current zone is agricultural. And the proposed zone, I show as residential estates, 1 acre. Did you remove the half acre from this one too, or is that still there?
That's still on the application, right?
Are we doing the next, are we doing the next?
No,
No.
same one,
We're doing-
same one.
13, right? Yeah. G.
1313 D1.
My application says SF half acre.
Yeah, that's exactly what it says.
Yes, that's correct.
So it's all SF package. Okay. The,
This is the one where the general plan indicates that there's a golf course.
Yeah, that's good.
so it does show,
Oh, it's because you looked at, it's all one parcel. Yeah, gotcha.
so let me just clarify here from my, what's the blue?
That'd be for like a proposed school area?
So that's not half acre.
No.
Okay, what's that orange stuff that are, that section that's orange, what's that?
Yeah, if you look at the legend here, that's for,
Yep.
that's for a church. like a
Help me out.
church, yeah. You want this one?
Yeah, that would be great. So I can read that. So the entire parcel is, so on the application, it shows all of it to be half acre lots. But on the map, it shows partially, something set aside for a church, is that correct? And something set aside for institutional property, 4 acres, whatever that means.
Institutional's not supposed to be for schools, is that what that says?
Yeah, but
No, there was one to school
in the,
and something else is
Yeah.
institutional.
What's institutional?
Well, from a zoning point of view, I have no idea because we don't have a classification that's,
We
want to add
your park out the back right here, we want to go 2 acres, so you have a bigger park behind the building.
and for a church, but that, you know, the preliminary plat will spell more of this out. I mean, this is.
well,
They're asking for a zone change to half acre, so that's.
okay, so
That's-
let me
that's
just
all
go, let me proceed with that then, based upon what I have here. We'll go through, so whether the proposed amendment is consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the town's general plan, the answer is this is not consistent with the general plan. Plus let me correct this, so they have shown their map, but they show it all as half acre, but they also show some as school and some as institutional property. So the application is, I mean, it's unclear because based on the application, it's all half acre, but the map shows something different. Number 2, whether the proposed amendments is harmonious with the overall character existing development in the vicinity. You know, it's from, I'm just shooting from the hip here. There's nothing out there. The closest we do have 1 acre lots that are across, in gooseberry areas. So that would be the closest we have. Everything else is pretty much just open space transition or open space.
Or if you say the stuff that's right here by the town, it's on 1 acre also.
Yeah.
It is, however,
So, but this is talking about what's existing is around it.
well,
And so there's really only 1 acre.
it's actually surrounded by half acre.
West Temple was already approved at half an acre back in 18.
And then
But that's a
Desert Rose-
preliminary plat, so.
Desert Rose to the north is already zoned as well.
Majestic Eagle is Majestic Eagle now. And so, I got all these maps. Let's keep track of all.
Yeah, that's correct, that part.
They are, according to my notes, when I printed out the zoning map, my map shows that the general plan shows a combination. See, this is this property. Yeah, I don't have it.
Apple Valley, phase 1, 2, and 3 are all 1 to 2 acres. Up to 10. So it's not an ongoing along with.
The question here is whether it is consisting with existing and proposed zoning classification. So I don't know about the Desert Rose, but there's 1 acre, so it could be. Could be. I would err on their side of that.
Seems like it does, yeah.
Existing zoning classifications, the map for that. This parcel is partially there. And
Everything to the south of there is half an acre, everything to the north of there is half an acre. It's consistent. Your map's black, you can't even see that.
well, this one here is not.
That big map is
This one here,
Very clear here, your stuff's black, you can't even, that don't count. This stuff's right here is what we turned in.
So it looks to me like it's,
the general plan shows medium density, 1 to 5 acres. It shows commercial and it shows golf course on this property.
Everything to the north of this, you can see is half acre. Everything to the south of there's half acre. We're just zoning the part in between this that's already approved and this is already
we
approved.
got you. Yep,
Yeah,
we got you.
just, and we went with this.
So
one.
based on our criteria here, one of my concerns with regard to, item number 1 here is that,
What's item number 1?
well, with regard to what they're asking for, I guess, in terms of the zone changes, they're asking for all of it to be half acre, but their map indicates a lot of other things.
No, 2 other things. If
Right.
one of them donating to a church, if they don't want that, then the church will.
Churches,
turn
parks and
that-
playgrounds are permitted uses in single family residential zones.
But okay, so the submitted map here. is
What,
just-
it's not the.
We can look at that and see.
They
just half
they
acre.
only put
submitted
the
the
red
entire property
area
for
is
half
what we're
acre.
trying to zone.
And then they provided us with a map here that shows part of it to be church and part of it to be that institutional or whatever that is.
So-
So it doesn't match. So I think best thing is just come back and clarify.
Yeah, my
That would be-
concern is in the,
He wants to put everything off till next month. I think we ought to, this one we ought to stand for.
I
That whole
appreciate
area.
you, yeah, I understand what your point of view is. It's totally- You're on the record, I get you. And we're deliberating, actually.
Let me just finish the number 4.
Yeah.
Number 4 is there adequate facilities and services intended to serve the subject property, including but not limited to roadways, parks, recreational facility, police, fire protection, schools, stormwater, storm drain system, water supplies, water waste, and refuge collection. There is access to this property off Highway 59 from However, Gould's Wash runs through this property. So hillsides and sensitive land ordinance applies to this property. And there is also serious questions about the town's ability to,
The bridge, we've already gone over that, and we will put it in with the preliminary plan. If we get zone change here, we're gonna put the bridge across and it solves the problem.
there are serious questions about the town having adequate water resources and to service this property, and sewer is also a major issue, considering that it is immediately adjacent to Gould's Wash.
Does this fit what you said earlier about you have adequate water
I have
already
adequate
here?
water already for this property, and we already have the approvals on the property to the south, the property to the north. And we're just
What's your
connecting the
plan to
little
do with the
spaces.
waste, the sewer?
We hired Aquatech Systems to come in and design a system which the town's already accepted to deal with all the wastewater on the properties we've approved to the south, the properties we've approved to the north. We plan to use the same system on this
Underground
part.
sewer systems, that is the
Yeah.
underground sewer treatment.
It'd be a large underground system approved by the state.
Yeah, it's.
And who's responsible for that system then?
The town has accepted that system already with the properties we have to the south and then also to the north.
But we need to be responsible, split it in or maintain it once it's
To
in.
maintain.
Once
Well-
it's in, they turn it over to the town apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
My point on this one,
Big things, water.
we've already been approved our zone change and all the stuff for everything to the south, everything to the north. The 70 acres in between, just the stuff barely west of this building.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks. Okay, well, thank you, Frank. This one's a little bit,
Tricky.
yeah, it
No
feels to me
tricks
like
about
it. I'm sorry?
There ain't no tricks on that one. We presented it.
I'm sorry, but we're deliberating. Thank you.
Chairman, I have a clarification on the
Yeah.
code, if I can have
Please,
30
yeah.
seconds.
Please, oh, please, yeah.
So I know the map submitted by the applicant has an area for a school, and there was one other, the orange one
Yeah.
on there. So the residential, single-family code allows schools and parks in that zone. And so now the map, you can take the map for what it is, but just so you're aware, a park behind this building and a school would be a permitted use. It expressly is a permitted use in a single-family zone. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of that ordinance. Okay.
Thank you.
Remind me the total acreage here,
72 is what we're trying to do.
That one's 74.72. It says the top of the map, if you look on the top left.
Top left. Oh, 74.17.
And the next agenda item is the one below that, so 20 acres.
Okay.
Okay. All right, you guys, say about this?
Well, I think we're kind of bumping up against what's already been done, so, for us to not allow the same thing in the middle of two we've already approved.
It's rather interesting, yeah. Yeah.
I agree with Lee.
Yeah.
Those other ones haven't already been done. Then we-
Yeah, I mean,
It's kind of too late for that.
half acres, half
Yeah,
acres.
it's, okay.
We should have this discussion 2 years ago.
Yes.
Exactly.
3 years ago.
See, you did all that before. Yeah, it's your fault, yeah.
No, Cynthia.
Yeah, I mean, I can say it's a little bit exciting to think about, you guys having water provided to the town.
Yeah.
So I just said that out loud and it's on the video and you said, yeah. So we're gonna hold you to it. All right.
How about storage?
Water storage.
Water
That's
storage.
coming in your.
Can you get that in writing?
Yes.
Because you're doing that at Mark Smile too, right? That's what, I went back to my old notes and, Mark Smile has, Miles Mark has water storage. And that will go from 24 lots to 12 5-acre lots.
It went from 70 or 69 lots to 29.
I've got 12 lots. 5 acre lots.
That's on the agenda later, and we have a map.
Yeah, no, I got.
Sorry, let's do this. Does anybody want to make a motion here?
I mean, it seems like a pretty cut and dry road change.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we send the town council approval of application for 1313 B1 from ag to SF50.
Would you mind just adding to that the exact number that the acreage, 72 you said?
74.17.
Yeah, the parcel contains.
Just because the application.
74.17.
Okay. Did you get that?
Mhm.
All right.
Thank
I
you.
just want to make sure because the parcel ID identifies hundreds of acres, that there's no confusion about what we're approving. You can't always go back to a map when you're just reading minutes.
How can we fix that on our
Say it
application?
one more time, the
So
acreage
there's
number.
spot for acreage. We need that.
Well, anything that's not a full parcel has to be identified, listed with acreage and.
But we need to have a spot for it. So we have-
Cause it,
Yeah, we
on
can change
AB
that.
1313-D-1, I've got 524 acres.
That's the problem, yeah, it's all
Yeah.
one parcel.
That's,
So-
and that's what.
All right, who
showed
wants
on
to second that motion?
Second.
Lee, or, Richard got it?
Okay.
All right. Any further discussion on that one?
No.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. All right.
Thank you.
Got it, yeah. Okay, so we are on to the home stretch with regard to zone changes.
Is this the 20 acre piece now that we're talking about here? The next one?
Acres 20, yep. This one here is zone change application for AB 1318 from ag to single family half acre. Run us through this application, Frank.
Okay. The application fee should be $1,000 total.
Can you verify that, Rita?
Yes, that has been paid.
All right.
Okay, this one here shows that the parcel is owned by somebody by the name of Nancy Bradshaw Trust on the county records. There is no mention of Standard Development or Travis Home on as ownership of this parcel. The application, they did not provide well, let's take a look at that in light of so they do show the proposed zoning. And I'm trying to find the map that they gave that shows it. I don't see a map that they proposed.
It's the one I just gave you. We submitted one map for both parcels. It shows on both.
It shows the 20 acres below the 7.
No, I get that. That's what's for the proposed zoning. And I'm just trying to find one for the existing.
Yeah, it has one on there as well.
That's on, yeah, that's on this one.
Is on that one there?
They're tiny, all these
Okay.
don't work.
All right.
You need a magnifying glass.
Yeah, exactly.
And does that one show all the abutting ones too? Okay. And I assume it has the legal description on there too, because what I have didn't. Okay, I didn't show any proof of mailing. And I did not show a warranty deed. And those are, so the main issue here would clearly be that there is ownership. It doesn't appear that they have any right to represent Nancy Bradshaw.
I just wanted to clarify, because we're on AB 1318, right? Okay, page 85 of the agenda. Because I see a affidavit. And I know we talked about the warranty deed and or we would. And I also show proof of mailing and just.
When you have an affidavit, this is one of the problems.
With our
affidavits, is
application.
that anybody
Yeah,
can.
no, I
If
understand.
anybody say they can claim it.
Yeah,
On this affidavit doesn't even have a parcel ID number.
Right.
Yeah.
What's the point of that?
So we turned it in with the application attached. We assumed it was, I mean, it was all in one. one
Right,
packet.
right. Here's
Can
your
you explain
affidavit.
who
There's no
Nancy
parcel ID
Bradshaw's,
number on this.
what, the Nancy Bradshaw trust issue, that, anybody explain that?
Yeah, that, we have that property in the contract with, verified with Southern Utah Title.
Okay.
So there's no,
We need to see that though.
so I would suggest you provide a preliminary title report. That would be one that will show that you have a property under contract.
Can I go outside and get it on my phone and bring it in here and show them?
It's gotta be part of the application,
It's gotta
sorry.
be- Yeah, it has to be on the application in 14 days before the meeting.
This is we're not doing this fly by the seat of our pants anymore, right? That's ship that's, sorry about
Since
that.
since the application says for affidavit, I mean, is there's some,
Can I approve, we're just going for a zone change on this, but can I approve it by the time we get the preliminary? I'll have it approved by morning.
We'd have, well, no.
He said you could have an exception on there based on your choice if we meet three out of the 4.
Right, I
And
understand
we
that, but
obviously do on this one. Didn't you, Dayton?
I don't want to
Say
set a
something there.
precedent where we're reviewing a zone application where it's not clear to us who owns the property.
Right, but if we can have that for you before it comes in for preliminary.
No. Has to be part of the application, sorry about that.
Didn't
Should
you
have,
say it was their discretion after 3
I'm
hours?
telling you, it's my discretion.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
We're gonna do these applications right from here on out. I'm sorry you guys are caught up in this. I really am. I feel for you.
Yeah, if we
But
come
this
in here
kind of stuff
2 months
where-
ago, it was one deal and we happen to have, this guy here tonight, just kind of
It's a
played.
very different, yeah, we've learned, you know what happens is, we've got 8 zone change applications and 3 preliminary plat applications on the very last meeting of a year. And you think that's by coincidence? No.
Well, one thing that I was,
So we're not running this stuff through.
one thing that I'm trying to accomplish here is we have everything from this building to the mountains. Is that one area? We got, you barely passed the 74.17 acres. We're lacking 20-acre parcel there.
I
We're asking
understand,
you to just
Paul. You know what?
give us a little lenience. We're a little, we're one of the larger developers in town, and we want
Nope.
to add to the town.
That's not gonna get you anything.
Right.
One of the larger developers means nothing.
Right.
You are no different than any other zone applicant in front of this planning commission.
Other than,
You think
other than the
that's-
tax revenue that we're gonna give you town.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, we appreciate that. I hope you get your zone change, and we'll get that tax revenue. We're not getting a whole lot right now.
there's a, can I make one?
And I know, I resent that, by the way, that you can say we're one of the largest and somehow we're gonna make an exception.
It's
That
not, he
doesn't-
told you you can make an exception if we pass 3 of the 4 items, and which.
But you just out in public basically just told everybody, we're big, so make an exception for us. You
In
think
the-
that somebody down the road that we denied some,
It's
in
nothing
some
to do with,
past?
it's nothing to do with that. It's the fact that we are bringing a substantial amount of,
That doesn't mean you can,
you told me you was happy we was bringing water. Is that a benefit?
I'm not unhappy. I hope
You
you
said
get your
that on-
zone change. I just want the rules to be followed. That's all. That's all. It's not a matter of whether or not it's gonna happen. I wanna make sure the applicants in front of us are accurate and thorough. And right now, there's somebody's word, and I'm sure it's good, but it's on record in a government building that you represent the landowner, and we don't have proof of that.
Okay.
So,
Can I just say
sorry,
one thing?
resubmit the application.
If you read the application, it says warranty deed or
I
affidavit.
understand. It
And
does.
so as far as we were concerned, we did.
I understand what you, and that's our bad. It should say and. But
So
it's because now when we have actual proof that somebody else owns the land, and we don't have any proof that you represent them, we can't process the
So
application.
was the application wrong or did we
Yes.
not submit,
The application is,
Yeah.
which is on?
I'd like to just clarify what that means is usually when we have a warranty deed, we don't need an affidavit. So with an affidavit, you kind of need both. If, when we look up online and it says someone else
when
owns
you guys
it,
resubmit your application,
Yeah.
that application will be different.
I understand what the totally wholeheartedly what they're coming from. And we have, most people will submit both. And then we don't
again,
have
this
anything to
isn't-
worry
This is
about.
nothing personal.
It's nothing personal.
As you, I hope you can tell by the way we're processing things tonight. And as you point out, you've been before the planning commission and the town council before, and it's a, hey, handshake kind of deal. We're growing up. This town is just 100 people away from a city.
If this piece of property had a different name on it that had anything to do with you, then we wouldn't be having.
I
this
think it's
conversation.
actually awesome what you're bringing because it has been really.
And it's gonna be better for you, quite frankly, because if you come and get a zone change for something, we're committing that we can service that land. That's good for you. Right
As long
now,
as
I
it's
got news for you.
consistent.
People in the past that have gotten zone changes and are building, we have actually no way for sure to know.
As long as
They
it's
got water.
consistent. This guy stood in 3 years ago and changed all these rules and stuff, and it went one way for a while.
Well, he's not in charge. We asked
Not
him to
what
come
they're
and just
doing.
help us review the application.
This is just a courtesy, so.
Yeah, we just needed
Because we
help.
have-
I mean, with 8 zone change applications in front of us with a lot, as you can tell, almost all of them were inaccurate.
Yeah.
Those would have just gotten sailed right by us in the past, and we're not doing
But
that
not
anymore.
anymore.
And for your own good, I hope you understand, it's for
Yeah.
your own good.
Yeah.
We're not gonna commit to doing something that you
Well, thanks for the
Now-
one that you did
that you can't do.
acknowledge.
I don't see a whole lot of problem with this one, just, we're gonna try table it and
You won't allow me to just prove it by the time it goes to the.
Well, by January of 2022, they'll be able to submit this application in full.
Will you not table it and just let it ride?
That's
And
what
if you
we'll
come
do.
in and prove the.
That's what we'll do. We'll
We'll
table.
table it till you.
Yes.
We'll be able to
Will you
resubmit,
not table
but
it?
we'll have to review it at the next week. is all I'm saying.
Will you not table it then?
If it was, I have a question. If it was denied because of this problem, then
Deny it.
before the town council tomorrow would bring in proof, wouldn't they be able to prove?
I don't know, who knows?
That could be, but honestly, I don't,
Because they'll-
it's not, our job is to do our due
I
diligence.
think they will look at it and say the planning commission denied it for this reason, but the owner brought in this proof of ownership.
They can't look at it if we don't send it to them.
Oh,
So this
Well, can
way.
we send it to them? We'll have the
if
proof
we-
by tomorrow night.
If we table it, is this will.
And by the way, this isn't the only thing, we're gonna have to just stop the conversation now, it's gotten out of hand, we're deliberating. So thank you we understand your point of view, we really do. You need to say
We
anything.
appreciate what you're trying to do, because I've worked with you before, and I know that that you're gonna be an asset to the town. But things need to be done right.
Yeah.
And, before they haven't been done right. And so now I'm gonna do things right.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome, and I appreciate everything you. But, I make a motion to table the zone change for AB 1313 D 1 from AG to single family half acre until the next, PC meeting, January 22nd. January 2022 to allow time to submit the items.
You wanna say-
identified as missing.
You identified it's 1318,
1318, excuse me.
is that clear?
Yes,
But it still
I'm
comes,
13.
this will give you time to correct it and bring it forward. And I want everything that Mr. Linhart, had to be part of my motion also.
So we have the preliminary title report and the warranty deed application. Is there anything
Yes.
else that I'm missing?
Yes.
You might want to consider submitting for a general plan change first, just in case, because it doesn't match the general plan either. That's up to you. It could very well pass without it. But
Meaning everything else around it's already half acre for, what do you mean,
Yeah.
the general plan?
the general plan is zone medium,
Or
it's 1 to
medium.
5 acre, and you're asking to do a half acre. So it doesn't, as the town attorney pointed out, that's not, that we have discretion. But if you want to make sure all your i's are dotted and t's are crossed, you might want to consider a general plan update before you resubmit. All right, anybody want to second that motion Janet made?
I'll second.
Lee, you got that. All right. Any further discussion? No. Excellent. Those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right. Thank you. We're gonna move on to 1, 2, 3. We have, well, now is when, where was it on our agenda? Number 13, I'm gonna make a motion that we table that due to the fact that the zone change hasn't even been made, and so we have no business entertaining a preliminary plat for something that's not done properly. Anybody want to second that?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes. Okay, so now we have, And by the way, that's how, I get that, sorry, that's how things have been done in the past, and it's silly, quite frankly. I mean, we don't approve zone changes, we make recommendations, so for us to entertain a preliminary plat for something that has been rezoned makes no sense. I'm sorry that you were even
No.
allowed to submit it.
I mean, in some
Should've
ways,
been.
it's kind of what I say, the chicken and the egg. A lot of the solutions that come with the plat, you kind of need for the zone, so it's, in some ways, you have to do all the work anyways, but I see. what
Yeah,
you're
we
saying.
just can't, we have no business even discussing a plat for something that might very well.
It's the only way we
That's quite frankly a waste.
But the zone requires a lot of solutions that come with the plan.
Sure, yeah, we get that. Yeah, that's challenging. Okay, so.
Sorry, so that was, we're on 13. We just finished 13.
Yeah, where's my agenda? Here it is. So we're down to,
Yeah, 15 is a preliminary plot too.
yeah, let's do number 11.
Oh, yeah.
This is discussion and action, possible action on preliminary plat application for AB 1-3-5-211. Frank, run us through the application first.
Okay. This one is 136.62 acres. Application fee showed of $1,500. They got a zone change recently. I'm not quite clear what the final result was with the town council, because there were the preliminary plat they submitted shows zoning, tourist related zoning going all the way down Main Street. But their application didn't, when they applied for the zone change, only showed it up on the top property. Yeah, so there's some fuzz in what the zone really is. We did discuss it with the town attorney, so there's some clarification there. So what I decided to do, just kind of leave that issue, whether it is or isn't zoned. Just, I suggest that make that part of a motion to be clarified, so we don't have to deal with that.
I went back and looked at the video.
Yeah.
The motion was basically I moved to approve these three zones, but no indication of.
What, when, and where, right?
That seems a little odd, so I get you.
Okay, so we chose just to deal strictly with the preliminary plat itself, rather than the zone issue. So the first question that I addressed is, does the proposed subdivision, and by the way, this is the subdivision up on top of Rome Way, up by the water tanks. There, Miles. And if you look at the, no, sorry. Heber, this is Heber, yeah. I know. Been a long night.
Sorry about that.
Been a long night.
There's too many things.
So I know.
All right, so just to clarify, we're on 1-3-5.
That's 5-21. Okay, so the questions I wrote on that one: does the proposed subdivision front a public dedicated road as required by code 110840-G? And yes, it does. Is a letter from adjacent property owners included if required for access or easements, and is not applicable to this parcel? Is a letter from Big Plains Water and Service District included that confirms availability of water and sewer, or that they have given a preliminary review and acceptance of such proposed services? And all these are straight out of the application form. Is there a tentative plan for drainage easements, and drainage retention? They have set aside a parcel for retention.
Just for the record, the answer to the question prior about water was no.
There was a no, that is correct. Are all the existing waterways, ditches, canals identified and realigned shown on the plat? The answer is not applicable, because there isn't any waterways that I were able to locate. All easements for water, sewer, utilities, and other purposes shown on the plat? The answer is no. Does the average lot size, does the lots average the minimum required by the zone? And it does not. And just for clarity, so you understand, when a zone is half acre, then the minimum size lot should be half acre. However, if they have one that is 0.51 and one that has 0.59, then the two combined averages to half acre lots. So they meet the zone. So when it gets reviewed, then you add up all the square footages and then you divide it by the lots. And if it meets it, it meets it. And in this case, it didn't. Does all the lots meet the minimum required frontage required by the zone? And yes, it does. Is any property affected by the hillside ordinance? It is not. Do all the proposed meet our town standards? No. The sidewalk should be usually included. It's not shown. It also, they do not stop out a road to the south. So when you have a property this size, then you are always required to stub out to every direction so neighbor can go visit his neighbor without having to go out on Main Street.
The problem with this preliminary filing now is one of our road ordinances, we need a connector road for these two roads, and it doesn't connect, comes this way, this road needs to go all the way across it.
Right. So there is several problems with the layout.
I mentioned that to the applicant.
Right.
JVC, and they said they were gonna fix it, but it's not fixed.
I reviewed the same thing. I got the revised version today, just so you're aware. And luckily I got it before the meeting. And our road connection stopped out in all directions. No, not to the south. They did change it to the west, but there's not stopped out to the south. Does any of the lots have direct access to a major collector road? No, they do not. Do any major collector roads exceed 8% grade? It's not applicable because the property is fairly flat.
One, back on that last one, they do have a entrance over on the collector road for Coyote over here, so that's not correct.
Does any of the lots have direct access? Meaning, yeah, so a lot fronts major arterial.
Oh, right, no, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so a major arterial, for your information, is when it's like Main Street in State Street in Hurricane.
So we're not putting driveways on.
So you don't put driveways into major arterial roads, so people back into a super busy road.
Right, exactly.
And so that's the question, and the answer was they don't have any of those. And does any major collector road exceed 8% grade? And it's not applicable because it's so flat. And is the map marked with street grades that exceeds 5%? The answer is not applicable. And that is pretty much the review on that. I have another page.
One back up.
Someone.
Yeah, this application is pretty long. There's another half a dozen.
Okay, so my copy machine, can somebody help me with the other page?
Yeah, you asked about all vertical all vertical.
So all vertical contours greater than 5, not applicable. Is there a phasing plan? No, there is no phasing plan, and that is required. Are all parcels of land intended to be dedicated or temporarily reserved for public use set aside or common property marked? Yes, it is. Is any property affected by the hillside ordinance? No, it's not. Are there any commercial properties on this plat that should not be a preliminary plat, but on a preliminary site plan? Yes, there is. Can I borrow one of these for a second? What do you got?
For sure. You can have this one as soon as I'm done with it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm assuming since the application is, has a bunch of problems with it.
The recommendation was to table it so they can fix all these problems that are with it.
Otherwise, it's probably worth reviewing.
I make the motion that we table preliminary plat application for AD -1-3-5-211. It's called the first PC meeting January 2022 to allow the applicant time to submit the items identified as missing, incomplete, or incorrect on this preliminary plat. The review form shall be part of this motion. Everything Mr. Linhart has included is to be entered into minutes and is part of my motion. I also include in the motion to have the town council review the recently approved zoning change for this parcel as a preliminary plat submitted with this application appears not to match what was applied for and approved.
The revised plan did, but I still think they should take a look at what was approved. Yeah.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on that one?
Just to be clear, what are the things?
Let me line those out for you then.
Just besides the zone change, because it doesn't match.
Yeah, that's a separate. So just from a preliminary plat point of view.
Yep.
It does require a letter from Big Plains Water and Sewer District
Got it.
confirming availability of water, sewer, and or they've given preliminary review and acceptance of such proposed services. They do not show any easements for water, sewer, utilities, and other purposes. The average lot size does not meet the zoning.
No, the tent doesn't meet the town standards. The road standards.
Right. And do the proposed, they are missing and they're not stubbed out properly. To adjacent properties. And then on the backside, there's no, well, I think there's phasing plan. But it has one big problem, as it was discussed with the planner down there, is normally when you have a property that is a preliminary plat, it is for subdividing properties into parcels that you sell off. When you have commercial parcels, that is, like here, they show a grocery store, a hotel, all those things goes on a preliminary site plan. Here they, for some reason, merged it together into one, and that's not proper. So they should bring it back as one for the preliminary plat for the lots and a preliminary site plan for their commercial. And then phasing, of course, and that's it.
And that was already seconded, or no? Yes, I said, that wants to be, we second that. Okay, any more discussion? Great. Those in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Thank you. Cruising along. I want to get home in time for
10 o'clock.
dinner.
For 10 o'clock. Take my sister lunch. Oh my gosh.
All right, let's take up,
21. Yeah, it's cold.
let's see, we're down to the last two,
AB
So this is a discussion and possible action on preliminary plat application for lot 3B 1319-A.
Stocked. Right.
1319-A. You want to go?
1319-A.
Sorry, go ahead.
There is 66 acres in this and 29 lots proposed in this preliminary plat.
We're on 21.
This is 1919A, right?
Yep.
Yeah, item number 21.
Perfect. Thank you.
And Frank, before we go on, I have our zone change from May 22nd, 2019. And we're only supposed to have 12 5-acre lots. The fire marshal put him down to that.
Okay, so I would suggest you do then we went off the maps.
I'll bring in the maps that were approved at that time.
So just put in your motion that you suggest that the town council reviews the actual zoning for this property. So that's how I suggest that. So the first question on here is 1,500 bucks.
Did we get that?
Yes.
I did.
Okay. Are there approximate address location identified on the subject property? Yes, it's on their plat. Are there a copy of warranty deeds, a preliminary title report showing they have control of the property? No. Does the proposed subdivision front a public dedicated roads as required in Apple Valley Code 1108 40-G. No, it does not. Let me just clarify that so you can see on this preliminary plat. This is their parcel in blue.
Yes.
Down here, we have the water towers. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm due for a drink.
We all are. Okay, I'm gonna. I'll bring in the maps that were approved in the zone change.
But let's put all these things from the preliminary review here. Wait, hold on.
We want to make sure the applicant knows what the.
What's the black road here at the south of this road?
That's the road that they were talking about that they wanted to do for,
They're gonna joint venture with Flat McDonald on that road.
yeah, it's, when we reviewed this application, this look and take a look at it, of course, the first problem they have is they do not abut, the closest road is down here, Apple Valley Way. And the applicant does not currently abut a public road. And that is a requirement under 11-840-G.
We have an easement from there.
Let me just go through that, if you don't mind. And then, is there a letter from the adjacent property owner? If required for the access, it was not. There's nothing in our package for that. He may have one now, but it was not in our package. And is there a letter from Big Plains Water Service District, including confirming availability of water and sewer, or that they have given a preliminary review and acceptance of such proper proposed services? The answer is no to that as well.
If you read the map, it does.
I'm gonna bring in the map that we approved. It's
Th-
different.
this-
That's why.
Excuse me. I'm just reading what is, there's no letter from Ash Creek or from the service district. You can write on your plat or whatever you want to, but it doesn't change anything. It's the specifically required letter, and I'm just stating that it is not present. Let's see here, then we have, oops, this one here.
We're down to drainage easements.
Yes, so, is there a tentative plan for drainage easements or drainage retention? No. Are all the existing waterways, ditches and canals identified and realignments shown on the plat? No. Are all easements for water, sewer, utilities and all purposes shown? No. Do all lots average the minimum required by the zone? Yes, they do. Do all the lots meet the minimum required frontage required by this zone? Yes, they do. Is any of the property affected by our hillside and sensitive lands ordinance? Yes, the entire parcel. Do all of the proposed roads meet our town road standards? No, neither in width nor in improvements. Are there roads road connections stopped out to all adjacent properties and arrangements made for temporary turnaround? It's not applicable because it doesn't connect to anything else. Does any of the lots have a direct access to a major collector? No. Do any major collector roads exceed 8%? There isn't a major collector, so it does not apply. Is the plat marked with any street grades that exceeds 5%? No, it is not. There is no grades at all on anything on this map. And on the back, are all the vertical contours not greater than 5 feet? They are not. Are there any double fronted lots? No, there's not. Is there a phasing plan? Yes, there is. Are all parcels of land intended to be dedicated or temporarily reserved for public use set aside for use of a property owner in the substance so marked? Yes, they are. Is there any property affected by a hillside ordinance and are all potential geological restraints identified on the plat? No, this is affected by a hillside ordinance, and they're not marked. And are there any commercial properties on the plat that should be on a preliminary, not on a preliminary plat, but on a preliminary site plan? The answer is no, there is not.
Okay, another application's got a lot of problems with it. Assuming Janet, you want to make a motion about this one?
Yeah, I do, because I have a map of plan that was approved May 22nd, 2019. There were not as many lots on it as the fire marshal at that time. So there was no way to service these lots. So you had 12 5-acre lots. And so I make a motion that,
Because the application is so incomplete, let's
sorry,
just table
wait,
this.
let's just table this till, and this will give you time to get everything together. And I'll bring in the map for this and show you what was changed in the zone change, and this is not it. Because.
Well, the
fire
zone change
concerns-
is-
fire
This-
concerns, and
She's
you
in the
have-
middle of a motion, so don't, try not to get yourself sidetracked here. Make your motion.
I make a motion that we table this, AB 1319-A, until January of 2022. And, that all of Frank's comments be entered into the record with my motion.
And those items, just for clarification,
Thank you.
are, that are wrong with the application.
Okay, number one, the proposed subdivision does not front a public dedicated road as required in 1108 40-G. Is there a letter from adjacent property owners, including that gives them access across there? It was not included. Is there a letter from Big Plains? It was not included, so they need to include that. They should include a tentative drainage plan and drainage retention. They should include where all waterways, ditches, canal is realigned. All easements needs to be showed for water, sewer, and utilities. They need to make sure that they review our hillside ordinance because this property is affected by that, and make sure it complies. And then bring the roads up to our standards in Apple Valley. And provide us with grades for the proposed street so we can see that it does not exceed 5%. And that's it.
The hillside sensitive.
I think I mentioned that. Didn't I mention the hillside?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just mentioned it twice, so.
I also didn't see a warranty deed. I know there's some confusion about that, but we can make sure the applicant.
Yep.
Make sure that's.
Back on the zone.
I got a quick question.
Hang on, we're in the middle of something. Hang on.
It's preliminary plat. You can still,
That requires it to, it's on the list.
Oh.
right.
Anybody have a second for that?
Second.
Third. Gwen, second that. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Nope. Those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes. Yeah, go ahead. You have a question?
If my son Scout wants to put one house on that property that you merely tabled, what does that fall under, Frank? If he just wants to go up there and build one instead of 12 or any of that, just one home on 69 acres.
What's the current,
What, can you do that?
Yeah.
If he has access to a dedicated road,
Right.
I don't see anything other than that. So you would need an easement or something across the neighbors if you could prove that.
And how many homes does that go up to under that rule before it
There's
changes?
19 going up wrong way.
No.
He wants to know how many homes he can put on that parcel.
Without subdividing. So you said without subdividing, put a home on, that means you're not subdividing. Then you can put a home on it if you can get easement across your neighbor's property and make sure you meet the hillside ordinance.
If he wants to do a home and a guest home, is that acceptable?
no.
Water.
Yeah, it is.
Well, you'll have to review the town ordinance on guest homes. There is some provisions for that, so you just need to follow that.
Because he just have to be attached to your house. They can't be separate.
So it's not a guest house, it's gonna be attached.
It's like a lot, it's like a.
So we
mother-in-law
shouldn't have
apartment.
any issue just going up there and getting a permit for that.
No.
I wouldn't think so.
Chairman,
Okay, yes.
can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Commissioner Prentice, you were mentioning a prior map
Yes.
Were you talking about a prior zone change
A
map,
prior zone change was made in, May 22nd, 2019.
May of 2019?
I
and-
have it. And it has 12 5-acre lots up there. They have to be 75 feet.
Well, a zone change map wouldn't have lots on it. It would just be changing it to a
Was that a
zone.
plat?
Well, this was a plat that, or a preliminary plat that we approved.
Okay, all right, I'll look at that.
They already did the
Just
zone-
look at the minutes from the meeting
Okay.
and see
They
what.
already did the zone change, and then they brought the preliminary plat.
true.
Our fire marshal said no, because there are too many houses, he couldn't service that.
But
And
that was a
I
different.
we agreed with him.
Was
So,
that you guys?
Thank you for that clarification. I just wanted to understand.
So it's completely different map, completely different preliminary. So there was a preliminary plan, you guys approved or disapproved?
approved.
But they die after 1
Move
year.
on to
if they're not-
number 22.
I'll bring it
Discussion
back.
and possible action on preliminary plat application for lots AUV 1345, 1327, 1326, 1346, 1348.
Wow.
Dash A. All right,
Adding all the IDs together, it's 1,080 acres. I recognize that some of them may or may not be on your development plan. It shows 344 lots. The application fee they should have paid is $1,500. The minimum lot width, the current zone is residential estates 1 acre. The minimum lot width is 80 feet on a half-acre lot and 100 feet on the 1 acre lots. And the current zone is half acre on one parcel and 1 acre on the other parcel. So let's see here. We do not have any, was not provided a copy of a warranty deed, as it says in this application as well. Does the proposed subdivision front a public dedicated road? It does. It fronts on Main Street. It's located all the way about a couple of miles out Main Street to your east, up against the mountain.
So this is Redstone.
This is Redstone. Is the letter from the adjacent property included? It's not applicable. Is the letter from Big Plains Water and Sewer District included, confirming availability of water and sewer, or that they given preliminary review and acceptance of such proposed service? It was not.
That
It is,
one doesn't require that we get approval from the Big Plains. I got approval from the state of Utah to put in our own system, our own wells and our own water. And I
okay, but our ordinance does. Are all the existing waterways, ditches, or canals identified and realigned showing on their plat? No, they have major washes, major waterways, and they just put homes right across all of it without any consideration to the waterways, or ditches or canals.
skipped over the drainage.
That's what he's talking about right now.
Is there a tentative plan for drainage and easement? No, that there's not, and there should be.
Yeah. there has to be.
And there has to be. All the existing waterways, ditches, canals, identified and realignment shown on the plat? No, it just shows homes right across all of it. All easements for water, sewer, utilities, and other purposes shown? No, they're not. Does the lot average the minimum required by the zone? No, it does not. In fact, the lot shows no dimensions, no sizes, no nothing. It just shows blurbs of lots. So we have no idea if they meet the frontage or meet the average density. And is any of this property affected by our hillsides and sensitive land ordinance? Yes, it is. Majority of it is. Do all the proposed meet the town road standards? No, with the amount of lots there, they should have a major collector, which they do, but it should be of a larger one. The residential standard should be a 60-foot, and all the sidewalks are also missing. Are the road connections stubbed out to adjacent properties and arrangements made for temporary turnaround? And the answer is no, it is not. They're missing on every direction. They're missing. They have one where they stub out to, but that's into the wilderness area. So that's probably not appropriate to have a road into somewhere we will never get a road that connects to.
on that one right there, they need a secondary access.
That one actually is
It's too far.
that's an access across the wilderness from BLM to a further south property that we have.
So anyway, but still, the answer is still the same. Does any lots have direct access to a major collector road, which is not allowed? And the answer is yes, they do. They have two road sizes in there. The larger one that goes along the edges of their property, that is a major collector. Because then the sheer number of lots that they're serving. And you cannot have a driveway backing into a major collector, so that needs to be fixed. Does any major collector road exceed 8% grade? We have no grades at all on this preliminary plat, so we have no idea. Is the plat marked with any street grades that exceed 5%? Again, there's no grades, so we have no idea. Are all vertical contours not greater than 5 feet? It's very difficult to read any of the. There is no numbers. There are very few numbers. There was 2 numbers I could see from one subdivision to up higher, 2 streets up, and there was an elevation difference of 55 feet. And I have no idea how you're gonna correct 55 feet between 2 streets without having a wall of China behind each home. But that's their problem. And is there a phasing plan? There is not. Are there any double fronted lots? No, there's not. Are all parcels intended to be dedicated or temporarily reserved for public use or set aside for use of property owners in the subdivision so marked? There's no ownership marked. They do show some common property, but it doesn't show how that is to be dealt with. Is any of the property affected by the hillside ordinance? Yes, it is. Are there any commercial properties? No, there's not.
Okay, another thing too is AB 1345 needs to get a general plan amendment. Because that's it, that shows half-acre lots and that is all 1 acre. So you need to get an amendment to that one parcel.
Make that part of your motion then.
We had a zone change approved on that one already for half acre.
No, we do not, because you have to change the map. I know we approved some things, but,
You approved the zone change already for
They
this
approved
zone?
the zone change.
well, we approved the zone change. And then, okay.
Half acre on
It doesn't matter what
that.
the map says.
You guys should copy before you.
That one's
Oh,
already
yeah.
done.
Okay,
That's right.
but since we approved the zone change, you've taken 4 parcels off. And so I'm kind of confused. And so at this time, I'd like to make a motion to table the preliminary plat application for lots AB 1345, 1327, AB 1327, AB 1326, AB 1346, and AB 1348A until the planning meeting of January 2022 to allow time to submit the items identified as missing, incomplete or incorrect. And I really want to see that, like, these ones built house. So, and
The list of
I
things.
asked that,
This hasn't came to KBC. I haven't seen this. Just so you guys know.
Okay,
I've got maps of all
there's
this.
an awful lot of.
Yeah, I've got maps of all this, so I'll bring them next time.
Preliminary plat.
Do you want to run through quick, you want your motion to include Frank's list?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'll give it a try. Okay. Number 1, we're missing a copy of a warranty deed so that they have control of the property. Number 2, Big Plains Water and Sewer District, we need a letter from them showing that they have given their consideration and approval of it.
On that front, I would just get a letter saying that you guys have permission from the state from Big Plains, just to cover yourselves.
But just so you understand, any water, anything in the city of Apple Valley is under our district.
I understand, but
But-
if they've
The
got,
state supersedes us on that one.
if they've got something.
They don't well, anyway, I'll leave that to someone else.
That's a whole nother chapter that we.
Yeah,
can-
I'm not,
But in order to do that, you also have to have somebody that's gonna run your water cable.
So
You have
just
to have a
for
water
my
manager.
understanding, is it and/or?
anyway,
No, the letter from Big Plains is a must.
Okay. Just
That's
so-
and I'll just suggest that all they need is a letter from Big Plain that agrees with what they say. What, no, that Big Plains agrees with what they say.
Right.
Just that's what I would propose.
Got it.
Okay, they need to have a tentative plan for drainage and show where they're gonna go. They need to show where all the waterways, canals be identified and realigned so they're not in the middle of lots. They need to show all the easement for water, sewer, and utilities. They need to be able to show that the average lot size meets the zoning. They need to be able to show that the minimum width for each lot required by the zone is shown. And notice that they need to follow everything there is in a hillside ordinance, make sure that it complies with that. And that does require special attention. The roads needs to meet our town standards. That any road stopped out, they need road stop out to the adjacent properties. And if it's stopped out to an adjacent property, then they need to show a temporary turnaround, which specifically mentions that you can't just dead end them.
Right.
And you cannot have any lots that acts as a major collector road. And then we need a map that shows major collector roads grades and the street grades. And a phasing plan. And that's it.
Wasn't there something about the retaining between because of the grades?
Well, once we get the grades, then we'll be able to see how they if they can meet that.
And then I still have a developer's agreement and conceptual plan that they submitted with the zone change.
Oh, so this is subject to a development agreement? Okay, there's no records of that I've seen, so.
I will have, I'll give it to, I'll have her copy it all off.
Okay.
Okay.
And then just to confirm, the stub out roads to adjacent temporary show, what does it need to show?
Turn around.
Say thank you.
You have to show it, be able to, you can't just dead end the street into nothing.
Yep, thank you.
Hey, I get water, I just have a real quick question. You guys, when you develop your own water, you're gonna be putting in, your pipes, your fire hydrant, and you put in water storage. Why don't you guys just run the line over there and connect it to the town line? It's gonna be pretty close with these other guys'
We're
projects.
sure happy to do that. We've got
It's a
plans
big,
that's trying to
it's a
add.
great big deal to try to run your own water system. is all I'm saying.
We've got plans of working with the town. We want to do good things.
Just ask a question.
Anybody want to second that motion?
I'll second it.
Okay. Oh, let's not have Richard. He is. All right. Richard got that one. Jenna, you got that?
What did he say?
He said I second that.
Okay, got it. Do I
Any
have to
further
write that
discussion
in
on
a
this one?
second?
No, it's just too much. to
Those
talk
in favor of the motion, say aye.
about.
Passes unanimously. Aye, I said aye. I second it. Those in favor say aye. Let's get out of here. Thank you all. Thank you all.
There's a copy of all those.
Thank you, guys.
No, you have it for the record.
I appreciate, I was gonna ask.
You did a lot of work.
And if you ever need. I have a
Thank you.
So now, the trick is to have you report that.
Our last meeting will be here.
Yeah.
So then
So then we can have it in for today. It's not fun.
So I didn't mean to get too heated about that, big, but people in the room.
And normally, by the way, normally that's.
They can't see us get pushed around. And we're cut out for you. So that we can. Thank you so much. Good job. They went out to. No.